Hey, shh. Calm down. The show is about to start. Reese on the radio. Turn it up. Turn it up low. Turn it up loud.
It's like a dream come true.
Turn on your radio. Reese is on the radio.
Yo, let's get it.
Due to the nature of this program, discretion does not exist. It's Reese on the radio. Right now on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Did we forget? Everybody's forgetting. There's no music. That's how you know it's a Monday, when there's absolutely bedlam going on. Did it just not register? It just didn't play. Oh. Didn't do a thing. Hey, you know what? That's okay, because it's just that kind of Monday. It's Reese on the radio on NewsTalk 1080 WTIC. It means nothing. It's not like there's any jinx associated with it. Don't worry, it's fine. I've got plenty of news and plenty of views for you anyway. The telephone number, 860-522-WTIC, 860-522-9842. Let me just tell you that I think that there are people who are starting to recognize that things are a little different in Connecticut. And I got to tell you, it feels good. It feels good. Something happened today. And I didn't post anywhere that I was going to be there or I was going to do anything. I just got word that there was a press conference going on. And so I went down. And I went down and, you know, it's interesting because sometimes you talk about people on the air who have never come on the show. Some people refuse to come on the show. But today, we made headway. Today, we actually got right in the faces of individuals and said, what's the deal? When are you coming on the show? And you know what? They made some commitments today. I'm going to give them a little bit of grace today. I'm going to give them a little bit of grace. It's easy to get the Republicans to come on the show. Of course, they all want to come on. Hey, come on by. That's fantastic. But I'm not trying to do, you know, a little echo chamber with my Republican buddies. Not all of them see eye to eye with me, but you know what? You know the deal. Hey, you know, Reese has got all Republicans on there. He never ever talks to the opposition. I'm trying. I got Donald telling me every day, you never have any opposing views on your program. I'm working. What you need to do is get on the phone and say, hey, you need to get on that guy's show. Huh? Show him what for. You're making us look bad. But that's okay. I'm going out there to do it for you. So I get out there today. First, I had to go see my good friends over at Friendly Hands Food Bank, and I'm giving them an applause. Karen Thomas, Sam, and the crew. I got to give a shout out to Lee, who went out there as well. Someone went there to go see me because they heard I was going to be there, and ended up volunteering, helping folks get food, and that was Lee. Lee said, you know, he's about to be retired. I think he's retired, but about to be retired maybe. But he said, I got nothing to do throughout the day. And he was like, well, you know, what can I do? And Sam and Karen said, would you like to volunteer? And he said, yes. And there were other people who showed up to volunteer, and they were there to help people get groceries off shelves and get those folks the food that they need, and got them out the door with shopping carts. Roseanne and I were there. We had shopping bags sitting in the back of our trunk, and I want to thank Roseanne for telling me to give them away because those things have been littering the back of our car for years now. And we gave them up to these folks so they could carry their groceries to their cars, and it was absolutely beautiful. I'll talk a little bit more about that as well, because what I saw there was interesting. And I want to talk about that. And, of course, I want to talk about or give you folks an opportunity to give to these food banks. We went to another food bank today, Hands on Hartford. Now, I know there's been a little bit of a scandal or some issues going on with the folks at Hands on Hartford, but I don't think the people who work there have anything to do with the outside stuff that's going on with Senator McCrory. I don't want anybody to get those two twisted. That's separate. I want to talk about Hands on Hartford because we talked to one of the directors there, and she was such a nice lady, told us about the things that they were doing. She and Roseanne had a great conversation because we know some programs that do something similar that Hands on Hartford does, and they're good folks. So I don't want to disparage them by getting them involved in that whole scandal. They're separate from that. But why were we at Hands on Hartford? Well, we heard that Representative John Larson, that Representative Rosa DeLauro, and my frenemy was showing up. Who's my frenemy? Well, my frenemy is Matt Lesser. Did you guys know this story? Matt Lesser called me a coward. Do you remember? And he knew who I was. I'll tell you that in a second. He called me a coward. Said that I was afraid of him and having him on the program. Although I reached out to him in many ways to come on the program, he avoided it, acted like no one asked him, nothing. But I only thought Larson and DeLauro were going to be at Hands on Hartford. Till somebody pointed out, thinking that I didn't know DeLauro or Larson, hey, there's Senator Matt Lesser as well. I went, oh, I know who he is. Let me tell you the whole story. I'll just tell you the whole story. So I'm standing there, and they're supposed to have a press conference, but before the press conference, they went on a tour. And one of Larson's guys, a new kid, after they're out on a tour, he sends me a text. He goes, hey, where are you? I'm like, I'm downstairs waiting. He goes, no. Come on the tour with us. We want you here with us. Come on the tour. So I'm like, okay, fine. Hey, where are you? So I start walking around with Rosa DeLauro and John Larson and Matt Lesser. And every time I look at Matt Lesser will put his eyes up and put him back down. Put his eyes up and put him back down. If I locked eyes with him, gave a little smirk, let him know I was there, he'd dart his eyes in the other direction. I knew what was up. The guy he called a coward was right there in front of him. 6'3", 200 pounds, standing in front of him. He's roughly about 6 feet tall. And I'm a big guy. When you're around me, you can see it. In fact, there's a video out there. Mark from West Hartford was there with me. He had a video of us talking. I'm towering over this guy. So we go through the rigmarole as they're asking questions and people are telling them about the facility. And it was a nice facility. The folks there were very, very nice and very gracious to be visited by the representatives. It was nice to have them. They were so happy. Couldn't wait to tell them about all the good work that they do. And I was actually happy to see that. Rosa DeLauro, let me say this about her. And I know you guys have some opinions about her. But I'm going to tell you, there's a reason why this woman is beloved by those who support her. She was so engaged. She really, really cared in that moment. You guys can call it phony. It was genuine from where I sit. She was really engaged with those folks. She gave this one woman a hug, just the way the woman was talking about working there and doing all the work. And she just came out to go give Rosa DeLauro a handshake. And Rosa DeLauro reached out and gave her a hug. She was very pleasant. Just like a politician. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. Anyway, the whole thing's up. We're about to go in to do the press conference. Larson goes to sit at his seat. Rosa DeLauro goes to sit at her seat. But Matt Lesser, nobody knows who he is. So he's sort of stuck behind the crowd and the photographers. And so I make a beat for him. I said, Hey, Matt Lesser, how are you? You know who I am. I reach out my hand, I shake his hand. And my grandfather said to me, this is what you always do. You shake a man's hand and you bring him into you. You know, like Trump does. I brought him in and took a nice firm handshake. I said, hey, you know me, don't you? Matt Lesser shook his head and said, yeah, I think I know you. I was like, you sure? You sure you know me? He goes, I think I know you. I said, who am I? And he said the words that made myself and my wife laugh out loud. He said, yeah, you're the Reese guy. That's right, Matt Lesser. I'm the Reese guy. It's the greatest line ever. It's the greatest way to be recognized by a state senator. Hey, yeah, you're the Reese guy. So I kind of bowed, I kind of bend my head down to him because, I want to get at his level. It's because I'm towering over the guy. And I don't want to be, this towering figure that's trying to intimidate him. So I scooch down, like you would when you're giving a kid a cookie. Why don't you come on the program? I think you and I have, we had a couple of exchanges online. Why don't we get toe-to-toe? Come on the show. I would love to come down. And when do you want me on there? Come on down whenever you like. Whenever you want to, you can come right here and sit in the studio. I'd love to have you. I said, you seem to be very concerned about the Affordable Care Act. What better time than to come on the program and have a conversation about it? He was like, yeah, but he didn't have any staffers. And he damn sure wasn't interested in taking my number or giving me his. He was so quick to get out of here. Mark in West Hartford got a hold of him. And he leaned into him on that Cromwell High School issue, with the two black girls who were spat on at Cromwell High School. The thing that Matt Lesser took no action on. Yeah. He leaned into him on that. He seemed to know everything about it, but didn't seem to care about taking any action. Perhaps when he comes here on the program, if he comes on the program, we'll talk to him about that. But I got to tell you, nothing felt better than locking eyes with these folks and shaking their hands and them treating you like you're the celebrity. I didn't intend that. I didn't intend on any. I was going to show them their respect, but I wanted to show. As soon as you walk into the room, one of the handlers goes, hi, Reese. Hey, how are you? A week ago, these people didn't even know who I was. I showed up a week later at their event. Hi, Reese. How are you? How have you been? Fine. Thanks for inviting me. Which they did not. Nobody reached out and told me about the event. I had to find out on my own. And then when I show up, they're like, oh, what are you doing here? I'm here to support the folks who are in need. I'm here to support the folks who need donations in order to stay afloat. I'm here because this is what I do. I just came back from the Friendly Hands Food Bank. Oh, you're really involved in this. Yes, I am. You obviously don't listen to my program. I'm busy during that time. Okay, no problem. It's all right. Perhaps you should listen to the program now and again. Beauty of it is that every one of the staffers on Larson, by the way, again, I talked to Representative Larson in West Hartford. He had other staffers there. They knew exactly who I was. Another woman working there 18 years, never met the woman before. Hey, you know me? Yeah, you're Reese. How do you know me? Oh, we know you. I love every bit of that. And as soon as I saw Larson outside in the back, they were by the loading dock. He hadn't seen me yet because I was over in another room. I walked outside when they told me to come and join them. As soon as I looked at him, Larson looked at him and he goes, hey! Threw his hands up. Hey! How are you? Walked right over to me to shake my hand. Hey! How are you, Representative? Looking fantastic. And I got to tell you, I don't know what he's doing. Larson looks great. You got to go see him up front. He looks Hollywood now. Asked him how he was doing. Hey, how are you doing? I'm doing great. Pleasure to see you, man. You're looking like $1 million, Rep. Thank you. I appreciate that. Campaign's going well, he said. That conversation was so deep that Rosa DeLauro saw my reportage with John Larson. She beelined for me. Hi, how are you? Hello. Nice to meet you. It's a pleasure to meet you for the first time. And this is the exact words from Representative Larson. He said, hey, it's a pleasure to meet her. And I went, yeah, we already met. I waved him off. We already met. Same thing with Matt Lesser. Somebody said, no, this is Senator Matt Lesser. I was like, yeah, I know him. Waved him off real quick. Shook hands with Rosa DeLauro and said, come on, let's go inside. I'm letting these people know who I am just for the sake of one thing. They're never going to avoid my show again. Because I'm going to show where they are. And they can tell me all day, every day, oh, they're not taking questions at this thing. I'm not here to ask them questions. I'm here to get them on my show. When are you going to get them on my show? The objective is to show up and to let them know that I'm going to show up at every one of their events, no matter where they're going to be. I'm going to show up. And every time I show up, I'm going to say, still haven't heard from you coming on the show. This is not going to be done through my people to your people. This is not me contacting your communications guy. This is not sending you an email. This is showing up myself in person, asking you directly, are you coming on to the program? Are you going to sit down and have a conversation? I don't want anybody to get the impression I'm breaking anybody's will here. I'm not trying to harass them into anything. They're holding a public event. I'm going to be at the public event. One way or another, we're going to get some questions answered. Okay? So if we have to do it their way, we'll do it their way. That's what we do. That's what this show's about. We're not going to sit idly by and complain that they won't come onto the program. I'll just show them with my cell phone or with a microphone, and I will just put a microphone in their face, and I'll just say, okay, if we're not going to do it in the studio, we'll do it here. They know that, and trust me when I tell you they are listening. And I know they want to come on. I know they do. So we'll have more news and more views when it comes to these folks. We'll keep you updated when we get a phone call from any one of them in the next week because I'll be reaching out to them. I also want to talk about some of the other locations we went to today. Friendly Hands Food Bank, of course, talk about what Hands on Hartford did today and what they've been doing with the whole food stamp and the EBT crisis and why they need help outside of that. And what my experience was like today. Plus, we'll talk about Chris Murphy and his video that he released today. That man needs to be condemned for what he released today and what he said today, but we have his own words, and we'll talk about that in a bit. Plus, your phone calls at 860-522-WTIC, 860-522-9842. It's Reese on the radio on NewsTalk 1080 WTIC.
Fan of WTIC? Then do us a favor. Download the free Odyssey app and favorite WTIC.
And we're back. Reese on the radio. Getting to the phones in a second at 860-522-WTIC, 860-522-9842. Took a trip to Friendly Hands Food Bank as well as Hands on Hartford. Talk a little bit about that very soon because I get people talking about how compassionate they are. Like, they care ever so much about these folks. Where were you? Just where are you? These places are all around you. And a lot of you have a lot of time on your hands, on your computers, talking a good game. But I don't see you there. I didn't see you there today. Roseanne and I showed up at Friendly Hands Food Bank at 7:30 this morning before they opened up at 9. Roseanne got on, literally on the floor, putting up signs, putting up little stickers, helping get produce, guiding people in. She was helping old ladies get to chairs. I didn't see any of you folks. All of you warriors online talking about how compassionate you are. This is the reason why I laugh at you folks. It's why I don't take you seriously. I know that you're all clowns. I just do. I'm sorry. I just know that you are. You talk a good game about, you call yourself a Christian. Didn't see you out there. Didn't see you out there. You knew I would be there. In fact, I got a text message not too long ago. I just watched WFSB's a video of them at Friendly Hands Food Bank. I didn't see you on camera. I didn't go there to be on camera. I didn't even introduce myself to any of the folks there. Sure enough, spoke to them. Never told them who I was. Had no interest. I wasn't there for fame. I went there to volunteer. I went there to show my support. I'm not fame-seeking. Why would they put their camera on me? I'm not there to pick up food. I'm not there even offering food. Friendly Hands Food Bank is. I didn't see you on camera. Would you expect me to be in the back waving? Hey, look at me. Hey, stealing the spotlight from the needy. Hey, you didn't see me on camera, but then again, I didn't see you either. And I was there. I have the pictures to prove it. Karen will probably post them. Do your part. Stop talking smack. Do your part. These folks need help. Friendly Hands needs help. Hands on Hartford need help. They need your donations. What they're doing for these folks, you're required to do, or at least assist these folks do what they're doing. Can I tell you the thing that I found amazing in both places? So I go and meet the Karen Thomas, again, good friend. Karen and I have been back and forth on this, and I consider her family. I consider her a sister. Since I started here in 2022. And what they did at this facility is not just about feeding the hungry. What she's doing for veterans and the homeless is unheard of. And I need to put it this way. The first time I'd ever traveled cross-country in a meaningful way, I've gone to rest stops before. Like, you go to a rest stop and they have like all of the fast food chains inside, off the highway. I never really stopped at those places like the Pilots or the Loves, or, those trucker places. I'd never been there until I was grown up. And if I'd never done this, I would be naive to the idea. I always wondered, what do truck drivers do when they're going cross country? When they need to clean up, do they go to a gas station and do like the little underarm thing and clean up all their private parts from the sink? Like, what do they do? And you guys know this, I'm not telling any tales out of school, not like you wouldn't know this, but I didn't. Stop at a Pilot, stop at a Love's, and those folks have showers there. And I'm like, oh, that's so cool. There's a spot for these folks to actually purchase some time to go get a shower, to buy some CB radio equipment. By the way, just so you truckers out there who listen to Reese on the radio, you are the heartbeat of America. I love you. I'm so envious of you. I learned how to drive trucks just so I could be amongst you. I drive the little U-Haul 26-foot trucks, back them up, and do it because I totally envy what you do. What you guys do, you're frightening on the highways, but that takes skill. And I'm telling you, I'm jealous of what you guys do because, one, you get to see the country and you get to go to all of these great places. But I love the fact that there are these gas station stops that you can go to, these trucker stops where you can go and get a shower, buy new equipment, if something breaks on your travels. And I want to buy that CB equipment all the time. That's why Roseanne says I need to go buy an RV so I can buy that stuff. But I'm telling you, I'm so envious. Well, what is Karen Thomas doing over at Friendly Hands Food Bank? She's got showers for homeless folks. She's got showers for veterans. They can go there and clean up. They've got a change of clothes for them if they need it. They got a whole rack of clothing for them to change into. She's got a veteran center with a big giant table with a 75-inch television so they can come in and just relax. Some place for them to congregate and chill just for the veterans. She's got another room with computers. So if people need to get like VA benefits or need to contact the VA, they have a place to do that with technicians who are going to be there to assist them for those who are computer illiterate. I was talking to a couple of guys in there. I was like, no one's done that kind of stuff. When I was a homeless kid, I would have loved to have a place like that. But they're finding new and inventive ways to assist these folks who need help. And that's why you've got to help them. I've got to help them. We've got to show up. It's our duty to do so. And some of it doesn't take anything but our time. If you've got the money, because I know a lot of people are, kind of crammed up. It's hard to get donations out when you can. But if you have the time, it's worth it. That's why I give props to Lee. This guy came out to meet me. And he just looked around and he saw all these people moving around. He said, what can I do? Samuel came over and said, would you like to volunteer? He was like, yeah. He said, let me get you a lanyard. Had a lanyard around his neck in 10 minutes. And he was out there helping people get groceries off the shelves. And then all of a sudden we started noticing an influx of other people. We thought they were coming to get online and get clothes and to get food. Nope. Volunteers. And I got to tell you, the part that really affected me and Roseanne as we sat there on the side, knowing that all we could do was support, the thing that was really getting at us is that these folks were our age and older. That was the part that was really, really like it weighed on me. That these folks were so much older. And they were the ones who needed the help. The other part was interesting because I remember one of the younger women saw all the TV cameras. And she was like, I don't want to be on camera. And I said, don't worry, you don't have to be. Just let them know you don't want to be on camera. There was such a shame there. That's hard to watch. Because I know we've been talking about videos that we've seen online with people talking about EBT. And if I don't get my EBT benefits, I'm going to rob the store. And they're all on Facebook and, Twitter and, wherever, bragging about what they're going to do if they don't get their benefits. And you see these people absolutely humble. Just want to get. Some woman was there. And you could see it on her face. She had this look on her face of just disgust that she had to put herself through that. And she wouldn't give anybody any looks. But she looked like she just wanted to get in and get out. Just let me get it. Everybody else is sort of trying to be jovial about it. No, come this way, ma'am. We got you. That's like this woman wanted nothing to do with it because I know that every part about what she had to do today was driving her just batty, just shameful. She was like, look, I just want to get in here, get out. And she did. She came in and she got out. But there was nothing about that she wanted to smile about. She didn't. She couldn't give herself an ounce of grace, even though everyone there was welcoming as they could. All the volunteers are, do anything you want. Would you? I'll get that for you. Here, let me help you with your cart. Everybody there was helpful. That woman just didn't, because I know she feels horrible that she has to go through this. And that's all I could watch is just look at their faces and you smile at them. Hey, how you doing? It's fine. Some point I wanted to ask questions, like I wanted to talk to them. But I'm like, who wants to talk about this? How can you ask them to talk about this? About having to come to a food pantry. Admitting openly with their presence there that they can't afford the food. The basic thing in life. So I just let them be. All the rest of the guys from NBC Connecticut, WFSB was there, TNH were there. They were nice folks. Don't get me wrong. They were nice. They disappointed me that they wouldn't have a brawl in the parking lot like Anchorman. But I tried to talk to them. But they were as nice as they could be, and they seemed to just kind of want to get folks stories and show support for Friendly Hands Food Bank, and that was enough for me. But I'm glad I was there. When we come back, I'll talk about Hands on Hartford and what they're doing, which is very similar to what Karen Thomas is doing at Friendly Hands Food Bank. Stand by for that. It's Reese on the radio on WTIC News Talk 1080.
It's Reese on the radio on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
Continuing with our tour of the food banks today, Roseanne and I are going to show our support, and of course at the press conference of Rosa DeLauro and Representative John Larson. We showed up at the Hands on Hartford location, which is interesting because they do something very similar to what Karen Thomas at Friendly Hands Food Bank is doing, but the only difference is, and this is incredible, you wouldn't, again, if you don't know what these organizations are doing, you wouldn't know. And they don't really have an advertising budget to tell people there. So imagine this, right in Hartford, on Bartholomew, this location serves breakfast and lunch, which you could buy for $3. It's a $3 menu. You walk in there. Everyone who works there is, if they're not staff, is volunteering or someone who is, of the community, the homeless community, if you will. They have residents at the location and showers like Karen does at Friendly Hand Food Bank. They have an entire building and a facility. But here's where it's crazy. This is how you can help out. Try this on for size. At 55 Bartholomew, on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday nights, it is a full-fledged restaurant, like top-of-the-line restaurant with a chef that you can get a menu, like it's an actual restaurant. During the rest of the week, it's sort of this, back and forth, with helping folks in need, $3, donation sort of deal. But on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday night, you go there, a real restaurant, open to the regular public, with a regular menu that you buy food, with notable chefs, I might add. I guess they have sort of like a rotation of notable chefs. And that money is donated to Hands on Hartford as well. They've got a million things. And again, this is stuff that nobody knows about. So if you can't donate in the traditional way, like all of these others, with, $9 a month or $12, all of those other, programs, if you can't do something like that, pick a weekend when you've got some disposable income, go down to Hands on Hartford on Bartholomew and have dinner. Tip well. And that will be your contribution. It's that easy. It is that easy. And there's so many things that they are providing for, especially the people who are in need. They're helping people with HIV, AIDS. They're helping people who are veterans, people who are homeless, people who are on SSI who cannot find places to live, so there's affordable housing for these folks. Many of them work in the actual restaurant, and the restaurant is so nice looking. Such a nice place. And I think that's the way how easy it is to convert it to an actual restaurant, because when you walk up to the building, it looks like, your average restaurant on the street. It's a really, really nice building. If you haven't been there, you should go. Really, really nice building. And the people really love helping. I see them now. I couldn't help but think of Louise Jefferson, Wheezy, when she used to always talk about going down to the help center, which we rarely ever saw on camera, but she would always talk about going down to the help center and how that was kind of like a fabric of her life. I'd never really seen like those inner workings. I've been on the outside looking in, but I'd never walked through the kitchen area and walked through the facility and seen that stuff. So to see the inner workings and talk to the people who work in there, I got to admit, I'm not only impressed, but I'm inspired by the work these folks do. And a lot of them are moved because of their own personal stories and struggles. But other people are there because they want to give back. One woman who was talking to Rosa DeLauro, I mean, she had all the liberal talking points, don't get me wrong. She did the whole thing about, being a white suburban woman, being around such a diverse group of people. But I'm not going to lie, I felt for her when she was getting emotional. Because for her, this was her getting outside of her own box, being around the people who she's familiar with and helping other people outside of that. So I couldn't take, normally you look at her and just go, oh, boy. I didn't. I couldn't roll my eyes at her because she was really, really genuine she thought this was her way of giving back. And she had been gone for a while and she had just gotten back. And she says that being at Hands on Hartford brings her joy. And when she wasn't there, she was feeling miserable. Like she feels better about herself being there. I couldn't take it away from her. That was inspiring to know. Yeah, misguided on the whole liberal, malarkey stuff. But I can't hate on that. That's just not something I could do. So again, I'm just saying to you, if you know a location like this that's nearby, that you've seen and you've asked yourself what goes on there, go find out. Those folks are giving. They'll give you a tour. They'll let you know what they're doing and how they're doing it, and they'll let you know how you can help. The season of giving is upon us. I mean, might as well say it. It is right now. There is no better time than the present. So I hope that you'll join me because that's what I'm going to be doing for the next 2 to 3 months as much as I can. All right, enough with me. Let's get to the newsroom. Headlines coming up. Some crazy stories in the news to get to. But before that, we'll get to John Larson. John Larson. We'll get to John Silva. He's in the WTIC newsroom. We'll be back.
Reese on the radio, making sense of the news. Yeah, even when it makes no sense at all. Now on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Folks, don't fret. I promise you I will get to your chat room comments in a second. I'm sorry. I'm just going over a whole bunch of notes and a whole bunch of stories. It's Monday, so we got to get back into the thick of things, and that's what I'm paying attention to, but I will get to the chat room in a second. I did not forget you. Let's get some headlines. The head of the BBC and his top news executive resigned on November 9th after the broadcaster was accused of misleading viewers by editing President Donald Trump's January 6th speech. The BBC confirmed it was cutting ties with Director General Tim Davie and the CEO of News, Deborah Turness, in a series of press releases on November 9th. She says, quote, Davie said, "I want to let you know that I've decided to leave the BBC after 20 years. Now, why is this important? As I've said for the longest about January 6th, if Donald Trump incited a riot, the news media would have played that quote on a loop every day for 4 years. It didn't. The BBC had to doctor it. And if you've heard about it, you can go online and find it. What they did was they took Donald Trump's statements an hour earlier and then spliced them with something he said an hour later, saying that I know you're going to go down to the Capitol to cheer on your representatives in Washington, not raid the Capitol. He never once said it. And if there was a case, the BBC wouldn't have to take a speech from one point to an hour later and splice them together to make it appear that he said you'll go there and fight. It wouldn't be needed. And these two bozos wouldn't have to lose their jobs, which they obviously decided to give up their careers because they knew that Donald Trump was coming with a lawsuit, which I don't think, my honest assessment, I don't think he should not pursue. I think he should pursue it. Hell, get them all. Get them all. Okay, I got to be honest with you. I read this story and I'm still ticked off about it because someone's got to explain to me how you do this. MLB pitchers are now getting caught up in another betting scheme. Here's what happened. A star closer and a starter allegedly took small bribes, a few $1,000s each time, from gamblers in their home country of the Dominican Republic. In return, they would tip off bettors about what pitch they planned to throw, like a slow curveball instead of a fastball, intentionally throw bad pitches like balls in the dirt, or make specific bets win. These were called prop bets. Sound familiar? Yeah, just like in the NBA. And the prop bets and the wagers on tiny game details like whether a pitch would be a ball or a strike or hit a certain speed, not the whole game, just one pitch at a time. Now, look, I got to be honest with you. I didn't think pitching could be that accurate, okay? I can understand that you can intentionally throw a ball versus a strike. I get it, right? You throw one just a bit outside, You throw one just in the corner. I know there's some pitchers out there who are really, really good at that. But the fact that there is a betting apparatus for you to throw on a pitch, Roland, I'm hating betting more and more. This little rinky-dink back and forth, this little ticky-tack betting chart, can I bet on whether or not a squirrel will end up on the field?
Yeah.
This is ridiculous. You can bet on every little aspect of the game. You
can bet on just about everything. You can find it some type of way.
Is there like a bet on a rain delay? Is whether or not, let's say the game calls for rain. Can you bet on whether or not it'll be in the 7th or the 6th inning?
Honestly, I'm quite sure you can.
That's insane. That is insane.
I'm quite sure you can. I wouldn't put anything past Vegas.
Every part of this is making me nuts. Because there's so many ways to lose money. At the same time, with these guys cheating, there's so many ways for them to make money.
Yep.
These guys, can you imagine that?
I guess you just, is it for the thrills? Because if you're multi-millionaires, even though not all of them betting are multi-millionaires, some of them making like $500,000 a year, which is still a whole lot of money.
It is. Now, here's the thing. Clase, I think that's how you pronounce his name, the Guardians pitcher, Emmanuel Clase or Class, whatever. He's been doing this since May of 2023, and he continued right until 2025. Ortiz, the starter, right? He's the starter. Ortiz, the starter, he just started this June. Over time, gamblers won at least $460,000 from bets from their pitches. Class A got $400,000 to $700,000. Ortiz has only made about $60,000.
Wow. Is it worth that?
I don't know. Well, first of all,
it seems like they're making a lot of money, though.
3 years? Yeah, 2023 to 2025. So, yeah, in essence,
$460,000. So what?
$460,000 to $700,000.
To $700,000.
I guess that's a lot to make over time. No. Hold on. We're talking about the average schmo who's making maybe $75,000 a year. If he's making this much in a range of $400,000 in a range of 3 years, that's a hefty pickup.
Oh yeah, for that person, but he's not making that.
No, I know that. I'm just saying. That's a come up if I ever heard one. That's just insane.
Maybe that's money to his friends. That's what it
exactly.
is.
Well, it's in the Dominican Republic, so we'll just leave it there.
Okay. All right.
That's like 4 houses.
400,000, 480,000, 460,000.
Yeah.
In DR, you are a king among kings.
Exactly. You're a kingpin in that regard. Yeah. That's just insane. Bone-chilling data has revealed that almost 200 corpses have been pulled from Houston's bayous in the last 8 years, prompting terrified locals to demand answers. Officials continue to insist that this alarming high figure is not the work of a serial killer. But since 2017, 189 dead bodies have been found in the Texas City swampy waters, according to the Harris County Medical Examiner's Office's records. Of these, 17 were classified as murders, with 75 deaths marked as unexplained. That's definitely worthy of an investigation, this according to Joseph Giasalone, the retired NYPD sergeant and criminal justice professor at Penn State Lehigh Valley. He told the Daily Mail that fears of a serial killer were ignited in late September after officials announced that 5 dead bodies had been recovered over the course of just 5 days. On Friday, the Harris County Institute for Forensic Sciences said that the causes of all but one of the deaths still remain undetermined. The death of Amulfo Alvarado was ruled as an accidental drowning mixed with the effects of methamphetamines. But that still doesn't. 189 people found in a swamp? And they say it's not a serial killer? It sounds like a dumping place. Like what we used to say about the Hudson River back in the day with the Costa Nostra. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean. Anyway, that's so that's part of the news. Here's the stupidest thing I read today.
Yes, you do. Stupid as can be. This could very well be the stupidest person on the face of the earth.
Your family member is dead, I think. Officials for Maine's largest healthcare provider has apologized for sending their condolences to hundreds of people who are still alive. A computer system error caused Maine health officials to send letters of condolences to more than 500 living people to inform them of to inform their next of kin of their reported deaths. Maine Health, the state's largest provider of medical services, sent the false condolences letters to 531 people on October 20th. Maine Health wrote this. Maine Health sincerely regrets this error. Maine Health officials said in the statement, the cause of the mistake was a computer program that generates estate vendor letters. There were no medical records that listed the individuals as dead, and the computer program has since been corrected to prevent future occurrences. Maine Health is a nonprofit healthcare provider that operates a level 1 trauma center and 8 other hospitals, according to NBC News. It employs more than 20,000 people in Maine and New Hampshire. And they sent out letters to folks that says, we regret to inform you that your family member is dead. Now, I don't know about you, but there are a lot of shady people out there. And I know it. I feel it in my bones. You get a letter from Maine Health that says that you're dead. And, of course, you're alive. What do you think that they would do with a letter like that? I can think of a lot of things, guys. Perhaps scammer's dream, right? The first thing that you would do is, you have any outstanding debt? That's out of here without a doubt. I guess that they would ask for a death certificate, right? But you know what? All things considered, you probably could get one with that condolence letter from Maine Health. And you don't know, of course, because of HIPAA laws, you can't release who the people were who got the false letters. You can't. You actually can't do that. That's the insane part. Plus, they like the tax-free money, John Beckman says. Oh, that's right. Oh, he's talking about the gamblers. He says that the gamblers like the tax-free money. Craig says, I think these guys getting into gambling debt, and this is their out card. Simple, organized crime. It's a good point. That is a good point. I don't know anybody who would do anything that insane that I would, it seems crazy, but now how am I supposed to watch sports? Like, how am I supposed to do that? I've completely lost faith in this game, in any game, for that matter. I know this one guy, Ali, in San Diego. He thinks all sports are rigged.
Yeah, Reese.
Yes.
Let me break some news to you.
Please.
Since the beginning of time, when they had Olympians fighting to the death in those big arenas in Greece and wherever else.
What, even those were fixed?
Yes. Those,
the gladiators at the Coliseum?
Those were fixed as well. It's been like that. It's just that it's more on the horizon because of all the technology that we have today.
Cornelius, you will take a dive.
Yep. With your life.
With your life. The bettors expect you to go down in fortnight. Again, yes, I get that there's cheating. If there's an opportunity to cheat, that you cheat. But my problem with that is there's so many people who are now telling me that I need to grow up. I know it. They're going to tell me, it's like, you got to get with it. But look, sport, that used to be the only drama because we didn't know the outcome. Yeah. Right? And I guess we still don't know the outcome because we don't know.
We don't know.
We don't know, but somebody else knows.
Yeah.
But, Roseanne said it best, when the NBA scandal broke. And she goes, what do you want? The WWE is phony, too. Yep. And I went, just don't. Like, to me, it was just like, Like, don't rain on my parade by saying that, comparing it to the WWE.
It's entertainment. It's entertainment. We paying for entertainment. That's why I wish these games would be the single games, like Thursday night, Sunday night, Monday night.
Yeah.
These games supposed to be spectacular, and most of the time
they're so lackluster.
Yeah, and I think that has a lot to do with the betting, though, because if they are spectacular, a lot of people are going to win a lot of money. So they got to kind of dumb it down a little bit. So
yeah, I turned on the game last night with Pittsburgh versus San Diego.
Horrible.
What was that? It was San Diego. It's Los Angeles now.
LA Chargers.
Yeah, LA Chargers. And I turned on the game.
It was like 5-3.
Yeah, it was 5-2 when I turned it. Yeah, I'm looking at the score. I'm just going 5-2. What the hell is going on here? Like, how do you get that score? That's a baseball score in the first quarter, and I'm going, how the heck did that happen? Then I find out there was a safety. Yeah, there were two safeties.
One safety, two field goals. It was 5-3 because
no, it's 5. I'm positive it was 5-2.
No, it was 5. It was 3-2 at one point.
Yeah, that I remember.
Yeah, then Chargers kicked the field goal, made it 5-3.
It's so insane. Just watching this stupid game. I was just like going, why am I watching this? I don't know. I have no stake in either one of these games. At all.
I had $70 on that game.
Why?
In parlays, $70 in parlays for different people to score, and it's only 2 people scored a touchdown in the game. So that's why.
That's got to be frustrating now.
Yeah, but that's why, it's about the money. If everybody's scoring touchdowns, then everybody's making money.
What am I going to do on Super Bowl Sunday? Do I just not do anything? Am I going to be watching the Puppy Bowl?
You see who it is, who the 2 teams is, and you kind of see what Vegas. Think about this. It was supposed to be a three-peat last year with Kansas City.
That's right, Kansas City, sure.
They got so much backlash, they had to let Philly win for the
You think so?
For the sake of the NFL, absolutely. They had so much backlash about how Kansas City always there, and the refs is cheating for them, been cheating for them all season long.
Do you think they'd have lost fans if that would have happened?
Yeah, I believe so. I believe
true.
So.
You know what? I want a North Korean style email hack like we got back in the day. Let me tell you why. Because that hack, although everybody was outraged about it, there was so much that was revealed. So in that hack, what we found out, you guys might remember the first gay NFL draft pick was Michael Sam.
Yeah.
And what was he, Mr. Irrelevant?
Why? I just didn't understand why he couldn't wait till he actually got a good contract before he
revealed that he was gay.
Not revealed. No, you could reveal that you're gay, but you're on camera slobbing down. As soon as you get drafted, it's like nobody was doing that with their significant others like that, no matter the gender.
Yeah, that's true. Well, the fact that happened in the NFL was, but okay. So in that North Korean email scandal, which was interesting, right? We found a lot of emails by a lot of powerful people was revealed, one of which when it came to the Michael Sam thing. So very late, or I say very early in Michael Sam's career, when he was failing with the Rams, an email from Roger Goodell went to Jerry Jones. And Jerry Jones was told by Roger Goodell to take Michael Sam and put him on the practice squad of the Dallas Cowboys so Jerry Jones could get some good PR for the Dallas Cowboys because they couldn't have him cut because then they would be accused of homophobia.
Yep.
So that inside was like – so the reason why I say I would love to have like an inside of Roger Goodell's emails now is I want to know whether or not there was inner workings with Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce and the fact that the NFL kept putting the camera on her.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
They signed a deal.
Yeah, are you certain of that, or are you just saying that?
No, they signed a deal, NFL and Taylor Swift.
Really?
Yeah, they worked out a deal.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, that just seemed like they were just trying to get Swifties or women.
Yeah,
They've always wanted women to watch the game.
Yeah,
so, I just thought that was interesting. So I would love to see the inner workings of that email to find out, like, how that all went down or how they were trying to profit from it. But you're right. You may be right that them winning a three-peat would have definitely soured people on the league.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
They had to make it a blowout like that.
Yeah. Which also makes sense because they only, took everybody for another loop by having Bad Bunny as the halftime show, which was insane. Let's take a break. We'll come back. More news, more views. We'll take your phone calls as well. 860-522-WTIC. It's Reese on the radio on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Hey. Whoa. Let's not put all 100 candles on the cake. It'll ruin the frosting and probably set the place on fire. And there's expensive radio equipment in here, too.
Hey, we're back. Sorry about that. Reese on the radio, News Talk 1080 WTIC. I got people asking the question. It's like, where's the chat? The chat is right where you are. That's why I said I'm reaching out to find out where all of them, where all of your comments are. Rick says, hey, Reese, finally glad that you got to confront Matt Lesser. That's the man that called you a coward and the man that I consistently address on social media on why he doesn't want to go on Reese on the radio. Well, we both got to ask him. Rick, so we'll see what happens. We'll keep contacting his office to see what happens. So he'll come on or he won't, but we'll still go out there on the road. I want everybody to know that I want to be out there at these events. I'm not sitting at home preparing for the show, waiting to get on so I can complain. My objective is to go out there where they are and to ask questions about all the public figures, all of the officials. Hey, this is going on. I heard that you had a response to it. Let's get a back and forth going. Yeah, you don't want to come on the show? That's fine. Let's talk about it right here. You won't come to the show, we'll bring the show to you. So we'll do that. So don't worry about that. We'll get all that stuff done. Chris Murphy. Let me address his silliness real quick. And I want to make sure that I get this right because did he post this on the 9th? I think it was. Let me get my mouse here. I think he posted this on the 9th. This was the statement that he posted. I want to make sure I get it in front of you so I can read it. Chris Murphy wrote, so here's where we are Sunday morning. Trump is trying to starve hungry kids in order to bully Democrats into abandoning our fight against health care premium increases. So Trump is starving kids in order to deny families health care. Dystopian is what Chris Murphy wrote. And then last night, he learned that his Democrat colleagues were going to sign off on the continuing resolution. And Chris Murphy's not happy about that. Here's what he said about finding out that the end of the government shutdown was just days away.
The vote hasn't closed, but it looks like 8 Democrats have joined Republicans to vote for a temporary reopening of the government for about 2 months, but a bill with no protections to stop the coming healthcare disaster in this country caused by Donald Trump's premium increases, nor any provisions to meaningfully stop Trump's corruption and his illegality. You can see how tired I am. I've been here all weekend.
Haven't been in Connecticut.
I've been working throughout the past few weeks to try to prevent this moment.
Except not in Connecticut.
After the elections on Tuesday, it just became absolutely clear that the American people do not want Democrats to be bullied into submission. They want Democrats to fight for their health care.
Yeah, that's right. That's what the election on Tuesday was all about. They want people to fight for their health care. Those people were voting to keep the government shut down. That's what Chris Murphy got from that.
Democrats to fight Trump's illegality. Bullies gain power when righteous people yield in the face of their wrongdoing. I didn't want this shutdown. I want it to end, but not at any cost. And of course, I wish that there was a path to saving this democracy and saving people's health care.
You wish there was a path to saving this democracy? Well, what's one of the ways you thought we could save this democracy, Senator?
Didn't involve pain. This shutdown hurt. It did. But unfortunately, I don't think there is a way to save this country, to save our democracy, without there being some difficult, hard moments along the way.
You mean the American people starving? I don't think that we saved a democracy without having people starve. That's what Chris Murphy's telling us. Like, look, we got to save democracy. If some people don't eat, it's for democracy. It wasn't like he didn't say it before. Here's Chris Murphy saying the exact same thing on The Daily Show with Jon Stewart.
Moment requires us to break norms. This moment requires us to take risks. And I get it. A lot of my colleagues said shutting down the government, being in a government shutdown, that's a risk. That hands power to Donald Trump and Elon Musk. But how on earth are we going to ask the American people to take risks for us, right? When there's a 5-alarm constitutional fire and we need them to be out on the streets, not with hundreds, not with thousands or tens of thousands of people, but with hundreds of thousands of people, if we're not willing to show courage and take risks ourselves.
Well, that's right. They've got to take risks. The American people have to take risks. They have to suffer. The pain is good. Your starvation is saving democracy, Chris Murphy said.
The people came out on Tuesday in huge numbers. And yes, it was a referendum on Trump, but it was also a referendum on us. And I think there's going to be a lot of very angry people out there in this country.
They'll be well fed, Chris.
I know there will be a lot of angry people out there in this country.
You know there will be a lot of angry people out there. It's just going to be so rough. I'm out of breath. I'm tired. I lost my voice. I've been shouting to everybody, it's a threat to democracy. So many people, they were just suffering and they needed to suffer because we have to save this democracy. And I'm doing it myself. I'm single-handedly doing it myself. I am out there saving democracy on my world tour. Going from state to state, places that I don't represent, making sure that people know my name and let them know that I'm saving the democracy. I'm doing it. telling people, no, put that food down. No. Put that food down. I need you to starve. I need you I need you not to eat. I need you to lose weight. I need you malnourished so that we can bully the government.
Having watched just a handful of Democrats join with Republicans, and we still have fights ahead where we've got to be able to unite as Democrats. This won't be the only consequential moment between now and...
They're all consequential, Chris. We've got it. We got it. This won't be the only consequential moment. They're all consequential. Donald Trump got a hangnail. It's consequential. Donald Trump went to a football game. Consequential. Donald Trump said that he wants a stadium named after him. Consequential. He wants to be a king because he wants a stadium named after him. Heavens to Betsy. Clutch your pearls. Shut down the government. Donald Trump said something in an interview.
Next November. But there's no way to defend this. And you are right to be angry about it. I'm angry about it. And I'm just going to get up tomorrow and go to work to try to convince all of my colleagues
to help the American people starve more.
That this is a unique moment and the necessity.
Oh, no, this is a unique moment. Not last week, not in January, not in March. It's a unique moment every day. After a while, it's just crying wolf, Chris, isn't it?
Necessity to stand and fight, even when it's hard, even when it involves pain, is necessary, more necessary today than at any point during any of our political careers.
Yeah, pain is necessary. Your pain is necessary. That's why he wrote that. In 1 minute, it's Donald Trump's willing to make people starve. The next minute, Chris Murphy's admitting you must starve. You must feel the pain. So the American people can blame Trump. I need you to starve in the street so I can get a photo op. So that the news media will see you starving in the street, begging for handouts. So that I can use it against the Trump administration so he can give us what we want. And now the Democrats said, okay, enough is enough. We're done with this. They've decided to back away and do what's right. Knowing that they lost, taking the L, Chris Murphy, I'm very disappointed about this. So what? So what? You're disappointed. No one cares. Can I tell you something? I got to find this audio of Jimmy Kimmel's wife. Have you heard about this? Jimmy Kimmel's wife is over here talking about having to deal with her family members who voted for Trump while her husband is fighting Trump. Jimmy Kimmel. Jimmy Kimmel is fighting Trump with a late night show with awful jokes. That's how he's fighting Donald Trump every day. These people have actually anointed themselves as some sort of, you know what it is? I'll tell you what it is. You know what Donald Trump is? Donald Trump is climate change. That's what it is. To Chris Murphy, to Jimmy Kimmel, to Stephen Colbert, to Jon Stewart, all of them. Donald Trump is climate change. What do I mean? It's real simple. These people think that they are actually affecting something. They think attacking Donald Trump is like buying a Prius. It's like recycling. I'm doing my part. I go on my show every night to fight the Trump administration. Like how? Like you really think of yourself in that way? I get it all the time. I get these text messages from my favorite listener. Sends them to me all the time. He thinks he's fighting Trump. He does. He wakes up every morning. He's like, you know, like he thinks that when he sends another news report, like he's doing his part. I'm doing the good work to fight against Trump. I'm going to post this article about how Trump is awful. See? Did my job. Just like people buying Prius. They think that they've just saved the sun from blowing up the earth. See, I bought a Prius. Now the sun will no longer affect our climate. Yes, it's a used Prius. So I apologize. Certified pre-owned Prius. I purchased it, and now you are safe. You do not have to worry about rising tides because I purchased this Prius. It's blue like the ocean that I'm saving you from. We got to take a break. We'll be back. More news, more views. We got traffic and weather coming up at Streets on the Radio, and I'll get you your phone call. Stand by. It's NewsTalk 1080 WTIC.
It's Reese on the Radio on NewsTalk 1080 WTIC.
Totally doing all of this crazy stuff behind the scenes, paying attention to the show as well. I'm trying to get in touch with Roseanne. I've got some good news for her, but she's not answering her phone. I think she's napping. She had a long day today and driving her all over the place. We went to a place, Roland, called Elizabeth Park. Are you familiar with that? Have you ever been there? You've had to have been there.
Yeah, of course.
Elizabeth Park, you've
West
been
Hartford.
there? Okay. Have you seen the homes over at Elizabeth?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. They're not homes.
Oh, my goodness.
The mansions.
Yeah, there are so many places I haven't been in the Hartford and West Hartford area, but we went by there. We were just driving there coming from Torrington, and there's just like one road that you go down all the way into town. And we drove by these houses as we knew we were getting closer. And I got to admit, I'm like, I've never been more awestruck. Yeah. I'm like, damn. It's like every house was better than the other. And they're just beautiful. And not that I ever want, like Roseanne will look at those houses like, I want to live in that house. I'm on the other hand going, too many windows and too many rooms.
A lot of cleaning.
Yeah, a lot of cleaning. Like, I've never been the person who's envious of like mansions. Like, oh, I want one too. No. I totally, you got the money to live in one, please do. Have at it. I love looking at them, and I'm so thankful that I get to see them, like driving by. It's such a beautiful thing to witness. It's like there's that kind of wealth. There's that kind of home building. These houses, just how pretty it looks. Like, I'm in awe of its beauty. But I'd never been to that neck of the woods and be that close to Hartford and be like, wow. Like, I could see the skyline from that town. And we're like, I'm looking at the map, as we're, looking at GPS, and I see Elizabeth Park. And I'm like, I've never been to this part of town. God, is it beautiful. If you know somebody who lives there, please let them know that I drove through their neighborhood today. And please let them know that it is beautiful. And please let me walk through that neighborhood. If you want to give me a tour of your house, I'll take the tour. But Roseanne can't come because she won't leave. I'm telling you, you'll have to call the cops to get her out. She'll scream squatters' rights. But I'm just telling you that all of those homes are beautiful. You have no idea. I appreciate having witnessed them.
A few mansions right around the corner from here.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got to see. I have to see some of them. They're so, you know what it is? It's so picturesque. It's the time of the year where those homes have like the most scenic value.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just look at the leaves and the trees and the dark, mix of daylight and dark. And it just looks, it's not gloomy. It just looks picturesque. It's Rockwell. I love every bit of it.
I wonder if there are any vampires over there.
Why?
I'm just curious.
What type of insanity is that? Vampires for what? Like what?
That own a couple of those houses.
Oh, you mean like live forever? Yeah. You're the worst. That's insanity. Anyway, I'm just saying, I just loved looking at it. I'm just telling anyone who knows anyone who lives there, and if you listen to this program and you own one of those spots, or you're a real estate agent who can show one of those places to me, please invite me. I would love to see just any one of them, just to walk through it, to have the experience, because they're just beautiful. I want to experience the beauty. That's all I want to do. I want to share in it, soak it in. Everybody else who loves to go to Paris and all of those other places, I just want to walk through a mansion once. And I've walked through a couple of like really, really nice homes, like penthouses and stuff like that. But to walk through one of those houses, just to see the indoor and out, just all of it, I just want to be in that space and say I've been there.
Yeah.
It's just beautiful.
You should have been here in 2005 when we threw a pool party at 50 Cent's house.
Oh, no, I've been to that place.
Oh, you been over there?
Oh, yeah. When I first got here back in 2004, he was one of the first people who called us was to let us know to come over to the house. So, yeah, I've been there.
Come on by.
Yeah, to come on by. Yeah, I knew he was going to give that place up immediately.
Yeah, he held on to it for a long time.
He held on to it a long time. It was too much
longer
room.
than I thought.
Darn it, just looked at the time. Let's get our BPS Traffic Center with Mark Christopher. Mark, you ever been to 50 Cent's Connecticut house? Drove by it?
No, in Farmington? No.
Yeah.
No. It's right around the corner from the Radio Ranch. You should swing up there.
Yeah, I'm going to swing by. I've been there.
It's got a disco in there. I think a bowling alley, too.
No, it does. It's been 20 years, but I've been there.
Have you been there? Really? Cool.
Yeah, well, you know.
It's Reese on the radio. And don't say we didn't warn you on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
You know what we're doing. Of course I'm unprepared. Congratulations goes to Conrad D. in Newington. He is today's recipient of a dozen bagels a month for 6 months, courtesy of Between Rounds, the Bagel Bakery and Sandwich Cafe, located in South Windsor, in Vernon, and in Manchester. If you would like to participate, you got to go to reeseontheradio.com. That's REESE on the radio.com to enter. Please put in your telephone number. Please put in your date of birth in order for you to win. You can enter as many times as you like. It'll only up your chances in order to win. You must also live in the state of Connecticut, and you cannot have won within the last 6 months. We're going to get to your phone calls after weather and traffic. But I want to give a shout-out to Dave Roca. And if I'm pronouncing his name wrong, he's going to have to call me and let me know. He is the owner and general manager of Fast Pitch Nation Park in Windsor. Roseanne and I went there this weekend to go check it out. I want to thank Mailman Mike for sending us out there because he wanted us to see the facility. I got to tell you, it's the coolest thing. You know how lacrosse is really, really big with like the college boys and the girls play as well? But softball, girls softball, they've got all of these baseball fields or softball fields. I think it's like 15 of them or something. It's like almost all of them were packed, loaded with girls playing softball. And they are serious contenders. It's such a great atmosphere, and all the girls are there, and they're playing. They're competitive. They're chanting, and they're shouting each other out. It's such an amazing thing to watch. But Fast Pitch Nation Park was a lot of fun for us to go. I want to go on a sunnier day. But that was an experience. I was overwhelmed. I was like, wow, this girl's softball thing, it's serious. Let's get another check of weather and traffic. Mark Christopher, he's at the BPS Traffic Center. Hey, Mark.
It's Reese on the radio on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
All right, let's get to some phones. 860-522-WTIC. What up, Ralph?
Good afternoon, Reese. A couple things. First of all, your buddy Murphy, I know you're very close. But here's a scumbag who had a chance with the other Democrats to vote just to pay our military. They voted no.
Of course he did. That's why I said, there was the reason why I pointed out his Sunday Post. His Sunday Post is saying that Donald Trump wants to starve kids. Then they get a deal last night, and he's like, oh, you guys have to deal with the pain. So the guy who's really trying to starve kids turns out to be Murphy and the Democrats.
Reese, do you think if there was a national referendum and they said, let the American people vote, if you shut the government down, you don't get paid? What do you think the outcome would be?
Without a doubt. In fact, that's, I almost feel like Donald Trump should have made that, I wish he had done a public appeal to the American people, like had an address from the Oval Office during prime time and would have addressed that and even had suggested it as a conversation. Think about this, Ralph. If he had said that, like sort of like a fireside chat, and it said that the next time that there's a government shutdown, that members of Congress should not be paid, forcing news media on the Sunday shows to ask their guests that question, and then getting them on the record to say, well, the president is crazy about that. We're supposed to be. Make them have that conversation with their constituents. And that would definitely have put the rub on the whole deal. That's what should have happened.
Right. Reese, the main reason I called is I had a conversation with two friends of mine, both black.
Uh-huh.
And unbelievable the way these people think. First of all, they're Democrats, and I think, and I'm just maybe pushing a little bit. If a Democrat raped their mother or wife, they would still vote for him. But when I was talking about the shutdown, and first thing, well, the Republicans control everything. I says, no, they need 60 votes in the Senate. So they control everything. I says, they need 60 votes in the Senate. Is that true or not? No answer.
Yeah, but you're never going to get that. Did you hear what Carville said last week? Did you hear what Carville said about the? Okay, this was insane. For those of you who missed it, let me tell you what James Carville, the old raging Cajun, said after the Tuesday vote last week. He said, just for giggles, he is going to run a convicted pedophile under the Democrat ticket, and I bet you he will win. The reason why he said that was because he couldn't believe that Jay Johnson, or Jay Jones is his name, the Attorney General-elect in Virginia, after saying that he would kill a Republican's children, much less shoot the speaker in the head, because in order for them to understand, Republicans for that matter, that they would vote for him in Virginia, he's saying that Democrats at this point have gotten so off the rails, it doesn't matter what the individual would have done, they'd vote for him. So,
but I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, and he's saying the quiet part out loud. The hatred of Republicans, and for that matter, Donald Trump, is that those folks will go to any ends of the earth to vote for a Democrat. They've got no morals. While they sit around telling us about about ours, they have none.
But this guy also said he wanted to see more cops killed, didn't he?
Yes. Again, saying this guy said exactly what Democrats think of everything, from Republican children to Republicans overall to the police and everything. And Democrats look at that and they go, yep, that's my guy. And that's why Carville said what he said.
These people, in my mind, they're not Americans. They're Democrats. And there's a great big difference between a hardcore Democrat and being a loyal American. And these people do not care about their country. Their party comes first. Their country comes last.
Yeah. Again,
will they ever wake up, Reese?
Who knows? Who knows? You can never know. Let's go to Dan in East Windsor. How are you, Dan?
Hey, Reese. How you doing?
I'm good.
Hey, just out of curiosity, would that favorite listener happen to be somebody in Hampton?
No, not him. Absolutely not. What's going on?
Hey, just a quick note before I get to what I called about. If you want to see some mansions, you got to go to the mansions in Newport, Rhode Island. And I believe they actually have tours. I'm not positive on that, but I believe they do.
No. I've actually been to several places in Rhode Island, but I got it. Yeah, Roland said, well, we're talking about Connecticut. No, I've been to plenty of places, but I'm just saying that was a little kind of like place that I'd never seen before. So close to the city. It was beautiful. But, no, I love mansions no matter where they are. But thank you.
Well, anyway, what I called about is, what I do is every time I hear somebody complain about the shutdown and try to blame Republicans and Trump, I tell them flat out, I tell them, look, the health care bill was written entirely by Democrats, Obamacare.
Yep.
It was voted on entirely by Democrats without one single Republican voting for it, and signed into law by a Democrat. So it was the Democrats that put the expiration dates in there to begin with. They didn't have to. They could have made the subsidies non-expiring, but they chose to put expiration dates in there. So, and now Democrats want to blame Trump.
You know what? My favorite part about that?
Expiring.
Hold on, you're missing my favorite part about that, because someone mentioned that on CNN, right? That the Democrats put an expiration date on the subsidies, right? And you know what they said? They said at the behest of Republicans. And my response to that was, really now? Like, of all the times in the world when Democrats could capitulate to Republicans on the Affordable Care Act, they did. They went. Hey, let's put a cap on the subsidies, Republicans said, and Democrats went, sure.
Then why didn't one single Republican vote for it?
Exactly. Yeah. It's ridiculous. It was like they didn't need Republicans for any other time except a cap on the subsidies.
and hey, while I got you here, I had commented. I was last week when you were looking for things to do in Connecticut.
Yes.
And I suggested the Broadmoor Opera House. You put a laughing face on it. I said, don't let the name fool you.
No.
You should really check it out. They have all kinds of shows there.
I thought you were kidding when you said the Opera House.
No.
You didn't really think that I actually watched opera, did you?
No. They don't have operas there. They have all. Maybe they used it a long time ago. It was closed for years and years, and then somebody bought it, renovated it. It holds there's 460 seats there. They have all kinds of tribute bands. They've upcoming. They got a Van Halen tribute band. They got.
I know exactly what you're talking about because I know about
Sweet Baby James.
You're 100%. I do know which place you're talking about because I did see the Van Halen tribute band is going to be there. I know exactly where you're talking about. But no, I appreciate you sending it anyway.
Yeah, that's a cool place.
Yeah, thank you, man. I appreciate you.
Yeah,
you got it. Tom is in Thomaston. How are you, sir? What's going on?
I am well, thanks, Reese. Hey, just before I got into the car, I had watched the video of Jimmy Kimmel and his wife talking to those two women.
Yes,
that is total Trump derangement syndrome,
isn't it? She says that her family voted for Trump, and she has to choose between her family and the man who's fighting Trump. And I'm like, do you not know who your husband is? Like, are you the only person in the room who doesn't know what your husband does for a living? Like, your husband is fighting Trump?
One of the statements she made, Jimmy corrected her. She said, like, it might be. And he says, no, it is. It definitely is. And she says, yes, it definitely is. He, corrected her on one of her statements.
Ugh.
And she said every time, Trump does something, she feels like a wound that one of her family members, her uncles or her cousins, gave her. It was.
She says that. So I'll tell you. You know all you needed to know about her, Tom? Let me tell you what you need to know about her. During that whole interview, she says the words that resonated with me immediately as an alcoholic. She said, I'm angry all the time. But as an alcoholic, I have recognized one thing. My anger is never about them. It's always about me. And also, my anger comes from one place, and that's fear. That's where her anger is. And her fear is that no one's listening to her, even her own family. She thinks she's so important. She thinks her husband is so important. And she is fearful that she cannot influence them, that she has no control. That's why she's angry all the time. And she needs to just let go.
Yeah, they can't because Trump is the manifestation of all their fears.
Yeah, exactly. A manifestation of all their fears because, again, they think that they're right. That's the whole deal. Yeah. They think that they're right, and they're so certain of it that they can't get out of their own way. So the only choice they have is anger. But remember what I said, right? She thinks her husband is fighting Trump, even though he's just telling jokes for a living. He's got writers telling him to tell jokes, and she thinks he's actually fighting the president of the United States. They are no delusional than people who think buying a Prius is fighting climate change. That's all she is.
All of them are delusional. Hey, Reese, when you're talking to Karen on Friday, motivated me to finally get down there. I did some help them out on Saturday for a while.
Did you?
That's a really nice. Yeah, that's a really nice building.
It's beautiful. You took the tour?
The windows for them.
Did you take the tour of the whole building?
Oh yeah. I walked around with Karen. It was impressive.
Yeah, what they've done at that place, it's not even done yet. But when it's ready to go, which will only be in a short time. God, it's going to be great. I mean, I'm not going to lie. I think I'm going to spend a lot of time up there helping out. It's a beautiful place.
She seems like a really good person.
She is. She's the best.
I told her I'd give her any help she needed in the building. So,
Tom,
I'll stay in contact.
I hope that thank you that this show inspired you to do that. I hope it inspires more. But thank you for going up there and volunteering, man. It means a lot.
I wanted to get up early in the morning and come meet you this morning, but I didn't make it.
That's okay. Don't worry about it. You have plenty of time, I promise.
All right, I'll talk to you.
You got it, buddy. Let's go. Hey, Rudy. What's going on, boss man?
Oh, girlfriend. He stole my thunder. I thought you were talking about Tim as well.
No, I'm talking about somebody else. He's
one of the reasons why I called in. But first, I got to address you with this Elizabeth Park thing.
Oh, yeah. What about
Do you remember D. Brown?
No, that's not ringing a bell. I don't know why.
First-round draft pick of the Boston Celtics, 91-92. Guard.
Oh, no. I definitely wouldn't remember him. That was late for me. Or too early for me, I should say.
He gets 91?
Yeah. As far as Celtics was concerned, yeah, way too early. I was still riding with those ridiculous Knicks.
Oh, Bernard King days.
Yeah. Exactly.
That was a sad sack of you-know-what. My backcourt teammate in high school from Bed-Stuy, from the projects, and he's like, Bernard's going to beat Larry Bird.
Sure enough did. But we had so many high hopes for that loser.
Yeah, and Spike Lee. Anyways, D. Brown, black guy, gets signed by Celtics, gets a huge signing bonus, first-round pick. He's buying a house in Wellesley, Massachusetts, which I'm sure you're well aware of what that is.
Sure.
He walks into a bank to get a mortgage.
Really?
That's Hartford.
Right.
They're going to call the police if you show up there.
Oh, don't say that. I drove through that neighborhood.
You drove through, but did you get out and go into a bank?
No, I was trying to make it to a press conference. I wasn't trying to. Look.
I'm just making a point.
You
That's
people,
how they are.
listen to me. Let me tell you something. I get this all the time. I get told all the time, don't go through that neighborhood. They'll stop you. I'm like, come on. I never had anybody. It'd be something different if I look like Lil Wayne walking through the neighborhood. When I walk through a neighborhood, people always know.
With your hood and your hat and your scruff on your face? I'm surprised you don't have a box on your back.
Listen to me. I walk through plenty of neighborhoods. And,
I'm assuming you dress better when you go out than when you're on Twitter.
No, in a T-shirt and a hat is what I wear in the West End, but I'll usually wear like a
they're going to call the police on you.
I wear a button-down shirt. I look like every man USA.
So you got the Uncle Tom part down.
Oh, okay, he's done. We're not friends anymore.
Hey, you know what?
What's up?
My real reason to call, though, is...
what's up?
Our friend from Wallingford, I didn't notice this, but he was crying and bemoaning to me, and I shouldn't be doing his bidding. But I was unaware, and that his words, Mr. Free Speech host banned me from the show, and I only caught part of your call on the 28th last week.
Yeah, I didn't ban him because of some call. I mean,
no. He's telling me he heard me call. And he would like to rebuttal. I must have said something about him.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what it was, but I mean,
about like,
do you want to be? I mean, do you want me to be? I can be honest here. I mean, I don't. First of all, I've got no reason to lie. I've got no reason to BS. But I'm very, very vocal about my sobriety. Not that I have anything to be ashamed of. I go to AA meetings, and I talk about my sobriety often. And they say, that they don't, personalities. Notwithstanding, it's about running your program and stuff like that. So I don't talk about my sobriety in a sense of like trying to brag. It's like, look, I got sober. I don't do any of that.
Well, no one should pick on you about being sober.
I don't care. I don't care about that. It wasn't. No. It wasn't that.
Do you remember when he came out of the closet on the radio and we were celebrating it? We celebrated it. We didn't bash him.
Because I got to take a break in a second. Let me just make it very clear what happened. It wasn't that I had posted something on Facebook. He took liberty to join in on the conversation, which I have no issue with. But it was when he had said the statement, you need to go back to your 12-step program on the post, which to me is a bridge too far. I consider that's worse than talking about my mother as far as I'm concerned.
Of all people, he shouldn't cast the first stone.
Yeah, and the fact that he said it, at that point, I didn't call him and tell him you're banned from the program. I didn't tell him. I immediately unfriended him on both sides of the platform and just said, I'm just not.
Smartest thing you did this year.
And just said, no, after that, I'm just like, there's nothing else to say. It wasn't so much that it was cruel. It was unnecessary. You could have a debate with me, but you don't have to go that low. Anyway, let me get the weather and traffic. God bless you, Rudy.
Don't let Paul back on.
I got to go. Let's get another check of weather and traffic. Mark Christopher, he's in the BPS Traffic Center. Hey, man.
Stay locked in. Reese on the radio is on WTIC. News Talk 1080.
All right, we are back. Hollywood news also coming up. A franchise that I love. And I know I talk about how silly sequels can be, but there are some franchises out there that have made sequels that I really, really enjoyed. So I hear that a new one is in the works. The star of the franchise has already talked about is on board. So that's coming up. And I also have some other news about Margot Robbie, which I don't know. What am I not getting about Margot Robbie? What am I not getting of her? Roland, do you know do you know her? She played in the Barbie movie. What am I not understanding about her? I mean, I get she's blonde, she's pretty. You know, I get that, she's statuesque, and, it's nothing wrong with her. I mean, I look at her, she's pretty, but I'm not getting the fanfare about Margot Robbie. Julia Roberts was considered, much more Hollywood than Margot Robbie. And I know that sounds crazy because Julia Roberts is, she's a Hollywood 7. Margot Robbie's clearly like a 10, 12. Without a doubt, but I'm not enthusiastic about her when I see her, with the exception of Margot Robbie in that movie, I, Tonya. Did you see that? About Tonya Harding?
No, I didn't.
Oh, you have to see, even if you don't know the Tonya Harding story, if you know a little bit about it, Margot Robbie kills that movie. It was absolutely great. And the guy,
I liked her in the Will Smith movie. Was it Focus?
Focus.
Yeah.
You liked her in that?
Yeah.
I never watched that.
Yeah, that was a good movie.
Yeah, everybody said that it was. Yeah, people liked her in that, but I don't get the fascination with her. I would have never seen the Barbie movie anyway. But I, Tonya was so good, probably because I knew that story backwards and forwards. But Margot Robbie just really, really she did a great job on that film. It's just I couldn't leave my seat watching that movie.
She was Suicide Squad. That's why
didn't like that either.
Well, that's what made everybody go crazy.
Is that what everybody's crazy about her?
Yeah.
Okay, because she played. I'm assuming she played that role so well in their opinion of Harley Quinn.
Yeah, Joker's girlfriend.
Yeah, I like I said, I watched it. And I was just like, because who was the Harley Quinn in the Joaquin Phoenix was Lady Gaga, and people said that they panned that. It was so. Did you watch it? The Joker 2?
No, I didn't. I saw the first one. It's so much story involved. It's kind of. I can't get with it. I can't get with it.
Let's get another check on the weather and traffic with Mark Christopher. He's in the BPS Traffic Center. Is the rain affecting weather real bad today? I hate it when it rains like this.
It's just enough to be annoying.
Yeah,
that's about it, but it's not really you got to be careful is on the secondary roads with all the leaves and stuff.
That's it.
You don't have to deal with that down in Texas, but now that you're up here in the Constitution State, we have to alert you of these things, Reese.
You got
it. Yeah, when you come to an intersection, take it easy because it can get slippery.
That's right.
Hey, and tomorrow it's only going to be like 40 degrees, so... A little shock for the system for you tomorrow.
The NAACP calls him, whoa, I don't think I'm allowed to read this. It's Reese on the radio. Let's just say some people are not fans. On News Talk 1080, WTIC.
Let me get back to the phones in a second. Julia Roberts is at 10? Who says that? Who would say that? I mean... I've got nothing against Julia Roberts, but I wouldn't say I said a Hollywood 7, which is still better than average. You've got average 7s in the world. A Hollywood 7 is clearly leaps and bounds above average folks. But when I look at Julia Roberts, do I say to myself, what a babe? No. I say she's an attractive Hollywood actress. I don't put her up there. You want to know I'll put it to you this way. I'll go one step further. Okay, I've got a particular taste. My favorite of all time, 3 women. 3 women. And that is, why am I forgetting her name now? But it'll come to me. But the other one is, I've always been partial to Mary Steenburgen. I love her. Ann Archer is another one. I always loved Ann Archer. I fell in love with Ann Archer when she was in that movie with Gene Hackman. and somebody's going to remember the name of it because it's escaping me now, where she's running from some people trying to kill her. Gene Hackman is trying to get her from the mountains back to Chicago, I think, to testify because she goes on a blind date and the guy ends up being murdered while she's on the date. And I fell in love with her immediately then she was in Patriot Games as well. But I would never, ever, no, Julia Roberts, just not my cup of tea. I know I'm going to get hell for that, but whatever, it happens. Let's go to Dolly is in Bristol. Hello, Dolly.
Hello there.
I know you get that enough, but I couldn't help myself. I couldn't resist.
No, I've heard it before.
How you doing?
But you know what? I just wanted to, I think this sentence that Bob Dole, who was a former politician, a Republican, and did a wonderful job. He was in the Second World War, came home with quite a few injuries and everything, and served our country, continued to serve our country in the Congress. And I was reading a book about him, and this is what he said, and it just struck me. You fought a war for freedom to protect democracy in distant lands. How can you stand aside and allow us to decay on our own soil? And to me, that speaks of today.
Yeah. I think that's, that I don't even understand how people do not take that into consideration, especially as they serve their constituents state to state, city to city, or even borough to borough. You're 100% right. And I think, Dolly, let me ask you this, and I'll put it in a question rather than making a statement. Do you believe that there has been a role reversal in these public servants who think in some way that they are the rulers, like they've become the ruling class?
I did feel that way under the previous administration.
Wow. Yeah, I can see that.
And I thought they were telling us what we could say, what we couldn't say, what we could do, what we couldn't do, and saying that they were their children, and it was not a good feeling.
Yeah. But
there are still a lot of good people out there serving us.
Yeah, I do believe that a lot of people get lost in the sauce of that notoriety, if you will. I remember that one classic moment, Dianne Feinstein was having an exchange with a witness at a hearing, at an oversight hearing, where she made the big guff about being referred to as a senator and talking about how she had earned it. I'll never forget that. It's just like that has always rubbed me the wrong way, because maybe you and I are looking at their roles different than the rest of the country does, because I look at the rest of the country and I almost see them capitulating to the ruling class, seeing them as their rulers as opposed to the people who are supposed to do their bidding.
They're serving us.
Yes, exactly.
And I want to say thank you to all the men and women who have served our country, who have protected it, and I pray to God it doesn't go to waste.
Yeah, indeed. Thank you so much, Dolly. You got it. Thank you for the call. Bye-bye. Let's go to Tim before I go to my good friend Frank. What's going on, Tim?
What's going on? You're going on, man. You should stop by 118 Palisado Ave sometime and visit with us. But aside from that, the Broadbrook Opera House, 4 houses from my house.
Okay.
Love to see you over there, too. And you're a big hit over on Palisado Ave. We were talking about you the other day. And I was reading The Language of the Heart last night with somebody, and we were talking about you also. But,
Thank you.
Yeah, there's a lot of people out there that are very ill, and they're very sick, and they call it Trump derangement syndrome. But some of these people you just can't reason with. And so what's the best you can do is maybe understand them. And when I'm trying to be funny, I don't understand them, and I say stuff about them. But when it comes down to, like, I know a lady I know for 30 years from the same community, and, she is deathly afraid. She's an old lady. She only listens to DNC, MSDNC.
Right.
And so, I mean, she was, like, to the point where she didn't want to go anywhere anymore. And, he kind of had to talk her off the ledge. That's what we need to do. We need to talk these people off the ledge. Hit them with the truth, very gently and see if they don't come around. But some of these people are too far gone. The politicians have a vested interest, but some people just don't know. And that's the sad truth about this whole thing. They think they're being, compassionate or whatever, but what they're really doing is undermining, the country. And another thing about the West End of Hartford.
Yeah.
You can go anywhere. That's the most sexually liberated. I grew up in the North End, then we moved. It wouldn't matter what you did. A cop told me one time, if you can name it, we can flame it in the West End. So,
okay.
Just so you know, they ain't stopping nobody from doing nothing in the West End. You know what I mean? God bless you, man.
You got it. God bless you. Hey, Frankie boy, how are you doing, sir?
Good. A couple of things. One, Rudy made a great point. At one time in this country, and you know this is true, it was a waste of time. It was a waste of time for a black man to walk into a bank and try to get a loan.
I thought about, what's so funny? This is a true story. When I started my moving company, someone had suggested to me, and it was like, they'll give a loan to you, man. You're a black business owner. And I looked him up and down, and I just went, yeah, no, thank you. It's like, that's quite all right. Primarily because I didn't want to start up the company in debt that early. I didn't know if I was going to do it for a year, much less 2. So I didn't want to take on any debt like that immediately. Plus, I thought about that. I said, if I start small and I grow, then I'll turn it into something on my own, like, in essence, on my own terms. And it did. It grew exactly on my own terms, and I did a great job doing it. But you're right. I would have never even thought to go to a bank to get a loan. It's just in my head, I just went, nah. Not that I thought that they'd be racist. I just didn't think that.
Well, the laws have changed.
No, it's because it's what they gave me. I'll put it this way. You know what really, really put a sort of a stink on going into a bank? It's what I had to go through to get insurance. Was really tough because of a movie. They didn't want to give me insurance unless I had a brick and mortar location that they could leverage. They didn't want to do it.
We had so many black men walk into my father's house with a white envelope every month. I didn't know what the hell was going on.
I've never told you this, but I had an opportunity once when I was a kid to do that. To actually borrow money in a large scale. I remember the kid, never forget him, in Astoria, Queens. Guy gave me an opportunity to start my own business when I was younger, like 20 years old. And, they were telling me that, you just have to pay every week. And I thought about it. I said, nah, no, thank you. Thank you.
I have to say this before I go. And I never in my life, I am so proud of our governor, Ned Lamont. I woke up Sunday morning and my phone was blowing up. I have a lot. I know a lot of poor people, and most of them were black women. They were just crying. I said, "What's the matter?" Frank, Ned Lamont put the full amount of food stamps into our account. Ned Lamont, are you kidding me? No, he did, and he was right. He fully funded the whole SNAP program for the state of Connecticut. Mr. Lamont, I want to tell you this from my heart.
Really?
God bless you. Yeah, he did. God bless you, Mr. Lamont.
Why are you blessing him?
Because it was the right thing to do. I told you.
Why did he wait so long?
Well, he didn't wait that long. Well, he said it was Friday. He said it was immoral. Sunday morning, the money was in there.
Yeah, and what did he do? Hold on. What did he do at the same time? That he said he was going to release those funds. What was the other thing that he did?
Well, he was on the side of the Democrats. I know.
No, but remember, he also filed his paperwork for run for re-election.
Oh, yeah. Well, listen, I never said he was stupid.
I'm just saying, okay,
well, it
was a political move.
Yeah, it was a political move.
Lamont didn't give up any whip. You know what? How about this one? Lamont's a billionaire, right?
Right.
How much money did it cost to fund SNAP in Hartford?
$72 million.
What's that?
It cost $72 million to fund the program for Connecticut.
He'd have gotten paid. He would have been paid back, right?
Well, yeah, but the thing is, that money, that $72 million was from the rainy day fund, and a lot of that is my money that went in the rainy.
Okay, even if it's the rainy day fund, why wouldn't he get? I'm just saying. Here's the thing. right?
He didn't have to do it, though.
He didn't have to do it. But my question is this, and this was what I was going to do later on today, but since you're stealing my thunder, let's look at this. Here's the one thing. This is one of the richest states in the union, right?
Right.
Donald Trump found out that we weren't going to pay the troops. Sure enough, somebody from, the Mellon Bank offers up $150 million to pay them for one paycheck. Where is Lamont's? Where's all of his homies? Where are all of his friends in the state of Connecticut who supported him and funded his campaign to put some money together to take care of all of the EBT needs of the people in Connecticut? How many people do we have on EBT in the state? 39,000?
Oh, no, it's about 350,000.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I apologize. 300, you're right. You're 100%. Actually, it's just under the population of African Americans in the state of Connecticut. So, okay, why didn't he get all of them to just donate the money? And if it'd been gone back into the coffers, either people could have gotten tax credits for it or whatever the case is. But where were the donations coming from? These guys are supposed to be the richest people in the world, and I never see these folks come out of pocket.
I can't argue the point why he did it. I don't care why he did it. He did it.
Yeah, but it's not, listen to me. Wait. I understand the fact that he did it, okay? But he's got 350,000 people in the state who, in essence, from your own words, who were going to starve unless they got food stamps. The crazy part about that is that this guy, in one breath, I've got him at the Friendly Hands Food Bank celebrating the expansion of a food program because people can't afford to eat. And at the same time, he is also going into the rainy day fund because he's got more people than he can spit at that he needs to get EBT for. He has made nothing. Oh, and by the way, he announces he's running for re-election. While both of those things he shows up for. I'm telling you, this is not something for him to celebrate.
Well, listen, I understand his motive, but here's the bottom line.
Mm-hmm.
They're eating dinner. The food is on the table. I always said, I don't care how that food gets on the table for tonight's dinner.
He should have never put anybody in a position in the state of Connecticut to be worrying about government assistance as a governor. No, his responsibility is to make sure that the people who live in the state of Connecticut actually have good jobs, good paying jobs, and can actually feed their family.
That's true. But when it comes to food stamps, Ned Lamont is the governor of Connecticut. That is the federal government's responsibility.
I'm well aware of that. But all he needed to do was tell his colleagues, Blumenthal and Murphy, to get into Washington and to actually sign that CR. And he never did that. He called it on. He knew that the reason why that CR didn't pass is because he had two senators.
I can't argue with your points. I don't care what is.
I know you don't care. I know you don't care because all of that is procedural.
They got the food.
I hear you. I hear you. I know you care about the bottom line. I get you. Thank you, Frank. I always appreciate you, buddy. Now, my bottom line is I get where Frank's coming from, is that these people finally got the money into their pockets. But Lamont knows what's up. He's a politician. He can't be sitting up here bragging about the fact, I got them the food stamps, while Chris Murphy, his colleague, is sitting around talking about we needed more pain. And Lamont is, on the other hand, talking about, those people in Washington need to get their act together. You could have made a phone call, homie. You could have called Murphy. You could have called Blumenthal. You could have said, hey, what are you guys doing? You didn't pick up the phone. You moaned. And then said, and by the way, I'm running for re-election. Hey, poor folks, here's your food stamps. Get up out of here. I'm not falling for that. That's moronic. Anyway, he stole my thunder. That's okay. We'll get into it later. Hollywood news coming up. Mark Christopher, he's in the BPS Traffic Center getting you home.
This song just comes on every time Frank comes on the radio. I don't know why.
That's what I hear
automatically comes on. It's amazing. I don't hit anything. It just comes up. It's uncanny.
He triggers it.
He certainly does.
The hour that packs a punch. It's Reese on the radio on WTIC News Talk 1080. It's
Hollywood news. with your correspondent, Reese on the radio. All the glitz and all the glamour. It's Hollywood news. Okay, so this movie is supposed to be a history lesson with action and explosion and comedy. I have no idea why I like this movie, but I watched the first one and then I watched the second one, and I was absolutely caught up in it, and now I hear that there's going to be a sequel. It is Nicolas Cage in National Treasure. I knew you knew it.
Yeah.
I knew you knew it. So you've seen this movie.
Love him. I love it. It's very similar to The Mummy and
exactly Indiana Jones.
That it just has that type of feel to it, and I just like the way they trick the bad guys in the end and get what they need to get.
The movie is just fun. Nicolas Cage is really, really good in these movies. I don't know why. It really it sort of endeared me to Nicolas Cage as an actor.
Yeah.
And so I hear he has signed on. Okay. I understand he's kind of been out of money for a while, so he'll take on anything.
He need that.
So I'm glad that he's going to do it. So he's coming back. The Margot Robbie thing. Why was I mentioning her earlier? Because she has been added on to another Bruckheimer film. By the way, Jerry Bruckheimer, Top Gun and all that stuff. Great films. Bruckheimer's master at that stuff. So there's another movie that Bruckheimer did, and it's Pirates of the Caribbean.
Love it.
You do? You're a fan?
Yes.
Okay, Margot Robbie is supposed to be in another one of those.
Okay.
Like they're coming out with another one, so I hear that she's going to be in one of the new ones, or at least the new one that's coming out. That's why I said I'm not. I like Keira Knightley in them.
Yeah,
Orlando Bloom.
I enjoyed her in the first three or first four.
So. Yeah, they're bringing in, because that's the whole idea. Like, you always bring in new actors in these Caribbean films.
Yeah.
And, sort of playing off Johnny Depp, who I don't care what anybody says. I can't think of him as anybody but Jack Sparrow. And he's played so many characters.
He's a master, man.
But he is Jack Sparrow the way that, what's his name? Robert Downey Jr. is Iron Man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like you couldn't take him out of that role if you try. And if you did, no one would see it.
I mean, it started with Edward Scissorhands, right?
Yeah, because of the Tim Burton thing.
Yeah.
But isn't it wild? Johnny Depp has been the man for 4 decades.
Yeah.
Like, and I can almost count maybe 5, because he was the man in the 80s, the 90s. God, he's been around a while. Johnny Depp is just absolutely. Let's get another check.
Guy.
Yeah, he is that guy. Let's get a check of weather and traffic. It's got to be the 80s from the 21 Jump Street days, Mark Christopher. Right? I mean, from the 80s to that would put him, at 40 years.
Right. 40 years.
40 years in the business since 21 Jump Street to Edward Scissorhands, because I know that's late 80s.
Hey. I saw that movie in the theater.
Oh, get out of here! He saw Edward Scissorhands.
It's my love of landscaping, and he had like seven things going at the same time, and he could cut your hedges in like seconds.
Isn't it? You know what's so crazy? I watched that movie 3 times. It took the 4th time to realize that Anthony Michael Hall is the bad guy.
Oh, really?
The worm. He's Brian from Breakfast Club.
That's right.
Because he buffed up. He looked like it looked like the guy was eating steroids for breakfast. I was like, that's Anthony Michael Hall. I would have never recognized him.
Holy smokes.
Yeah.
But that was a great movie.
It was a good movie.
It's Reese on the radio on NewsTalk 1080 WTIC.
I'm sorry. I've got so much news that I'm working on right now that I have to get I got to get an assistant. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I got to do it. There's like a million things that I'm working on. There's stories that we have to break that's going to go in so many directions. So stand by for me in a second. Guys, on the call line, just give me a minute to get this stuff out of the way, and I promise I'll get right to you during this break. So we have been pulling a thread of a story that is very important, and I think when we're done pulling the thread on this, something huge is going to come from it. The part that and I promise you I'm not saying this to put more sort of oomph on it than it needs to be, but I'm actually a little nervous about the direction that I'm going. Okay, so I'm saying this out loud so that you know that if something comes of this, you know I said it here. Okay, this car wash situation sounds really, really dirty. And there are some stories that don't seem to add up when it comes to these stories. You guys know about the Newington raid with ICE. And you know about the Hamden raid. But what I found interesting was that there was a raid before any of those. And that was the raid in New Britain. But the raid in New Britain doesn't make sense. Because the raid in New Britain was an Optimo car wash, as were the Hamden and Newington locations. Now think about what I'm saying to you here. Newington and Hamden were car washes. But the Optimo car wash in New Britain is not like the others. It is an Optimo car wash, but it is not like the others. The New Britain car wash location is a self-serve car wash. It isn't even called Optimo car wash. It's called both Optimo car wash and East Street car wash on East Street. I've looked at the location. I have not gone there physically. But that location was raided before any other place, and there was no words about it. You know that in Newington, that story made news, got the attention of John Larson. You know that Hamden happened, still got the attention of John Larson and plenty of others, got the attention of Rosa DeLauro. But New Britain, nothing. And if you know the site, if you go look for it, you will see the site. You've seen car washes like this. Many of you have. You just go there, you pay for it, and you spray down your car yourself. That's exactly what this location is. That location was raided. I don't know who this individual is. However, everything I'm finding out, it doesn't make sense. The names don't match. The names don't add up. And there are 18 locations. And because I can't go to air with it now, I'm just going to say this. There are people talking. There are people who are asking. And the stuff that we're finding out, I'm almost nervous to pull anymore. Like, I'm not comfortable with going any further until I know what I'm doing. So I'm asking a couple of friends, some folks in law enforcement, somebody needs to get on this, to at least quietly, privately, or behind the scenes investigate this. Because either ICE knows something or local government knows something. But you got to ask yourself, why is ICE going to 3 Optimo car wash locations, all owned by the same individual? Again, why? We looked up to find out if there were any other locations that were being hit. Nothing. We got no hits. The feds know about this. I'm just wondering if anybody else does. That's all. Doesn't it sound odd? Maybe I'm crazy, but I'm taking this at face value. I did all of this research. Everything I found out, just Optimo's getting hit. just owned by this individual. Nowhere else. I looked. Are there any other raids that are happening at car washes in the state of Connecticut? Nothing. Nothing. It's worth asking. That's all. Let's go to Chip in Coventry. How are you, sir?
Professor Reese, it's your man Chippy Chip on WTIC.
What's up, man?
Oh, listen, I mean, before I forget, I'm in my car, which I live in because I do TikTok videos every day. You can look me up at DJ Chipper.
Okay.
No joke. I have no life. You and Cumberland Farms and coffee is my life. Well, 100%.
I like Cumberland Farms. They got good coffee.
Hey, I go to the one in Coventry. I'm there for they call me the security guard. 'Cause sometimes I'm in my car for 6-7 hours.
I hear that.
But anyway,
yes, sir.
What's the name of that pantry in Hartford? Because I want to deliver a bag tomorrow that I was going to deliver to locally at the Coventry Police Department, but I can do 2. Talking about that
Hands of Hartford. Is on 50? Yes, it's on 55 Bartholomew Avenue, I believe. You can go to that location. We were there today, right? Hands on Hartford is on Bartholomew. You can't miss it. It's right there. 55 Bartholomew. The building is beautiful, and inside is just equally gorgeous. But yeah, you can definitely go down there. They would love some donations if you have.
No, I'll be there tomorrow, and that you have my word because, real quickly, I know what it's like at one point in my life or 2 times to be homeless, to have no food, to be on SNAP.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying I'm rich, I'm retired, SSDI, I don't know. But the one thing I really quickly, you had mentioned this maybe about an hour ago to a caller, but in regards to, going to AA and meetings and stuff like that, remember?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I have no shame in my game as far as I came into AA. I didn't join. That's like, you don't wake up one day like we say, yes, I'm going to join AA.
Pay my dues.
I have a drinking. I got a drinking problem. Whatever. But in 84, I was working at Travelers Insurance Company. I was there for 10 years.
Wow.
Long story short, I picked up what we say Dewey there, and they said, listen, Chip, if you want your job, you're going to go to treatment for 30 days. And I went, and I enjoyed it. I wasn't what we say in AA, a daily drinker. I was a weekend. I was a club freak. I joke with you a lot, but I love R&B club, Studio 54. That's when I did most of my partying. And during the week, I could care less about partying. Right. My point is, so 40 years now, mostly sober. I've had a couple of relapses. The worst one, and is, as we say, that the term is I went back out.
Right.
In 2011 and 2013, I'm not ashamed to say this on the radio, but I made a choice. No one put a gun to my head.
That's right.
The liquor stores were not talking to me like, come on, Chip. We need you to get drunk and get another DUI. Yeah, come on.
Right.
But it happened, and I want to just say, for you, I'm glad that you shared what you did, what Lydia shared, what little you did share, but because I stopped going. 3 years ago. For the main reason, no, I'm not, as they say, no one has ever said to me, are you cured, Chip?
Yeah.
No, we know there's no cure.
That's right.
I can go off all the slogans. I'm not going to do that. I can't stand people in any program, but in this case, and I'm not bad-mouthing, AA saved my life.
Right.
My favorite slogan, it's universal. It's not about how many years someone's been, again, sober, alcohol-free. It's just for today, November 10th, and I would say this at every meeting because there were people that peed me off and that's one of the main reasons I stopped going. And I'll never say I'll never not go again, but I'm just as happy, if not happier, than I am now, with my life. But in 2013, when I made another dumb decision, I'll share this with your listeners because, again, it happened. It can happen. I don't care how long you've been sober or who you are, but I had to go away. For the first time in my life, they locked me up.
Wow.
And I deserved it. They put me in Osborne, and it's not obvious, it's not funny, but I think about it daily. And that's what could happen with somebody who, quote unquote, has been, hey, you know, I've been sober for 29 years. Big deal.
Every day is a day at risk, and that's why you need what you need, and that's what the rooms are for. But I appreciate you sharing. I want to get one more in here. I promised Lynn that I would get her in. Okay. But
we're gonna hang out someday.
Of course, absolutely. Whatever, anybody who ever wants to hang out, you can always reach Reese on the radio, without a doubt. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Chip.
All right, buddy.
You got it. Let me get to Lynn real quick. Sorry, Lynn, I didn't mean to keep you holding so long. How are you, ma'am?
I'm doing okay. I love listening to you, Reese, and I know you speak because Connecticut has no money. I don't know where people keep getting that Connecticut has any surplus.
Yeah, a rainy day fund.
$87.2 billion in debt. Google it. Look at the total national debt for Connecticut.
Yeah.
And if I feel so bad about all these homeless people, like I said, I grew up in Hartford. I've seen it all. I don't drink. I never did. I don't do drugs. Never did, because what I seen growing up in Hartford, you'd really have to be a fool to do that stuff.
Cautionary tales.
But then you got Lamont and his wife opening a business in Tennessee.
Yeah.
We need jobs here.
That's right.
Seriously, if our jobs don't come back, Reese, I'm telling you, there's no way this.
Isn't it crazy that the governor of the state of Connecticut doesn't even have the wherewithal to recognize that there is a litmus test as the governor when opening up a business, that you would open it up all the way in Tennessee, which is one of the destination places of the people who leave the state.
There you go. Exactly.
Neighbors went down there.
Our neighbors went down there. I mean, but we need the jobs. You need to emphasize, if you ever see Murphy, Blumenthal, or any of them Democrats, why aren't they bringing our jobs back for these people to survive in this state? Otherwise, nothing's going to change.
Well, Lynn, listen, I'm going to go to a break, but when we come back at the next half hour, I've got another list that's going to make you upset. Wait until you hear it, okay?
Oh, geez, okay.
All right. I love you guys. Y'all be good.
Love you, too.
You got it. We'll take a break. More news, more views when we return. I've got a list about retirement that no one wants to report on. Wait until you hear it. Stand by. It's Reese on the radio. Let's go to Mark Christopher. He's got another check of weather and traffic in the BPS Traffic Center. Hey, Mark.
The Odyssey app lets you jump back to the moments you missed from WTIC News Talk 1080. Download the free Odyssey app. Search WTIC News Talk 1080 and tap earlier today to get started.
Wendy actually just said, damn, I missed the whole show. Well, that's the reason, Wendy, we do this. We do what had happened was on every show, roughly at about 5:34, what had happened was, that's why you got to go to the WTIC website or go to the Odyssey app and download it so you can check out the show. So what had happened was, earlier today, I talked about my impromptu meeting with Representative John Larson, with Representative Rosa DeLauro, and also with the man who called me a coward, Senator Matt Lesser. I bumped into him, who called me, and I have to applaud him. Hey, do you know who I am? Yeah, I know who you are. Yeah, do you know who I am? Yeah, I know you are. Yeah, who am I? He goes, you're the Reese guy. I wish that, I wish people understood the things that I find funny and why. I wish I could explain it, but it sounds too weird when I explain it. But for you, like, I know you barely know my name, and I know that you probably had to remind yourself. As soon as he saw my face, I know that it was a part of him. It just says, I know that's the guy who I called it coward the other day. I know that's him. What was his name again? I loved it. John Larson, I'm finding a way I don't even know why it is, but Larson, I'm kind of liking him. I can disagree with him. I think he is over the top, screaming and hollering like a lunatic, but I've become quite fond of that guy. I got to be honest with you. I can grow fond of all of these guys, except for the guys who are worms. And you know who you are, Chris Murphy. I don't think I'll ever get along with that guy. Ever get along with him. I mean, I want to annoy that guy so much, and he knows it. I'm just going to let everybody know this. This is going to sound horrible. Chris Murphy has got me up against it so much that the next time that guy sees me, I want him to throw a punch. That's the way I feel about him. I want to go after that guy to the point that the next time he sees me in a public place, he wants to fight. That's the way I feel about him. He's the ultimate worm. Now, Dick Blumenthal, he was nice enough that for the fact that he could get on the phone and call me and apologize, that takes guts. That's what a guy does. But this guy, Murphy, is a worm, and he knows he's a worm. The stuff that he lies about and carries on about is worm-like, and it's beneath. He's like human sludge. That's what he is. So the next time that guy sees me, I want to annoy him so much that when he sees me and goes, hey, that's that Reese guy, I want him to swing at me. That's what I want from him. That's exactly what I want. It's a bum. Matt, you can come on the show anytime you want, Matt Lesser. You know it, buddy. Come on the program. Let's talk about the the Unaffordable Care Act. What's up, everybody? You know who it is.
You know who it is.
It's Reese on the radio. Frederick Douglass of the 21st century.
It's WTIC News Talk 1080.
Hey, actually, Chip in Covington, I know you're driving around, so I hope that you're listening. I got this from Mark Walsh, Mark in West Hartford. He said, if you're going to be dropping off donations at Hands on Hartford, they say that it's always good for you to call ahead to let them know if you know you're dropping off any donations. So give them a holler before you show up. So that, they know that you're coming. So do that. Mark just said, just make sure it's very important to let Chip know to call ahead before you drop off any donations. So I don't want you to be turned away. So make sure you do that, Chip, okay? Somebody in the chat room said that Roland would be, Richard. Richard said Roland is making books on Murphy versus Reese on the radio throwdown. And Roland said that we should have a charity boxing match. Where would the proceeds go? I guess I could give them to, Friendly Hands Food Bank or something like that. Or give them to a food bank. If Murphy wanted to, I think he'd be scared to death. I'm like, how tall is Murphy? He's 6 feet tall, right? He's got to be at least 6'3". He's got to be. It's got to be at least 6'3", if he were ever. Okay, let me read this, and then I'll get to the phones to get out of here. So there's a new survey from Wallet Hub. We do them a lot here on the program. And Wallet Hub has a list of the top 50 or the worst 50. Well, actually, it's best 25 and worst 25 states to retire. And before I get into where Connecticut is, which ain't good, let me give you the top 5 and then the worst 5. Top 5 states to retire in, according to Wallet Hub. Number 1 is Florida. Number 2 is Minnesota. Number 3 is Colorado. And number 4 is Wyoming. Number 5, South Dakota. Now, all of those places are relatively cold, with the exception of Florida. Minnesota, cold. Colorado gets cold. Wyoming, cold. South Dakota, cold. Pennsylvania, which is number 6, it could get cold. But Pennsylvania is 6. Pennsylvania, that place is home to Philly. They're number 6 on the places to retire. Now, the worst 5. Starting from the worst down to 45. Well, 46, actually. Kentucky, the worst. Louisiana, Mississippi, Washington State, and New Mexico. Where does Connecticut fall? Well, Connecticut falls at 29. That means below 25. That means the lower half. Who beat Connecticut? Who beat Connecticut? Let me give you a few. Nevada, Nebraska, Texas, where I just moved from, Michigan, Idaho, no Idaho, Massachusetts, Montana, California, South Carolina, makes sense, Ohio. We beat Ohio as the worst state. Ohio is a better place to go than Connecticut. That place houses Cleveland, the mistake by the lake, and we couldn't beat it. It's also home to Cincinnati and Akron. It's Ohio. We couldn't beat it. We couldn't beat it. Utah, Vermont, Iowa. Yeah, all of those places. Maine beat us. Alaska beat Connecticut. I'm not kidding. Alaska. How do you not beat Alaska? It's like sea lions and Eskimos. It's got 12 hours. No, it's actually got 24 hours of either daylight or 24 hours of darkness. We couldn't beat Alaska. Alaska. That is insanity. I'm stuck on Alaska. I'm just done. That's it. What am I supposed to say? Alaska's probably a great place, but really, Connecticut, you couldn't beat Alaska? Really? It's absolutely insane. Stevie V, what's going on, sir?
Oh, I hear Alaska's pretty nice. I don't know.
Oh, come on. It's nicer than here? Are you kidding me?
Well, a lot of people that go there.
We got beaten by moose. We got beaten by moose. Sarah Palin has a better home than we do.
Hey, gotcha. Hey, listen, I want to talk about our two senators.
Yes, sir.
Start off with Murphy. Now, when he was going against Linda McMahon, I always wished that she would have wrestled him. You know, I don't think he could throw a punch. I doubt he could throw a baseball. I'd probably make Obama look like Sandy Koufax.
Poor guy.
Now, he probably could throw a hissy fit, though, I'm pretty sure.
That he can, without a doubt.
Now, getting back to Blumenthal,
mm-hmm.
I'm glad he called and apologized, but I honestly, in my heart, think he did that for damage control.
Yes. Because he knows I'm going to dig into the $20 million, as we did with the $5 million. You know, when we found out that the proposal for the $5 million only had $150,000 going to the application of DQuat and the other $4 million going to colleges and universities and research. I mean, how much money was he planning on putting in the coffers of those research organizations per year at the tune of $20 million a year?
Well, you got to keep in mind, though, you know, $100 million probably doesn't seem much to these senators. So I can see how he forgot.
Hey, you know, what are you going to do? I think you're right. Look, that money, all of it, just look, in finding out what the $5 million was going to, I wouldn't have gone to where the money was until that trail came in when I said, was there any other money ever asked for or proposed for this project? And it led me to the $100 million. So I actually found out that thing by accident.
Gotcha. Well, you know what they say, Reese, $100 million here, $100 million there, after a while adds up.
Yeah, exactly. In somebody else's pocket, and definitely not somebody who's got the best interest of the state in mind.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Thank you.
You have yourself a good night.
Thank you, man. You too. Let's go to Fulton, my man. What's going on?
What's up, buddy? So first, I just want to wish all the Marines out there a happy birthday today, 250 years old.
Damn, Marine.
And for all the veterans out there, I want to wish you an early happy Veterans Day tomorrow. To Roseanne, all the sacrifice that everybody gave, going overseas, whatever you lost.
And to you too, sir. Thank you.
Well, I just want to thank everybody for their service. But I do want to dig down into, is it going to be double bennies? Are we looking at double bennies? We're not taking the bennies back that we gave them, and they're getting the bennies?
What, I'm sorry, double bennies?
The SNAP benefits, double bennies.
Oh, no. We're not going to, no. That better not be the case. Because
no, that's what they said, right? He said he's not taking the money back, the $72 million, and then they're going to give the government one, right? So we're going to look at the 100. So everybody, I don't know, how many hot Cheetos can you get? How much grape soda? Honestly, like,
I don't know. So you're telling me that after he puts in all the SNAP benefits and puts them in everybody,
all of our money,
yeah, all the states' money,
they found the $72 million,
right? Then the federal government. So you're saying then the federal government is going to put that money back into, or not put the money back into the state? They're going to put the money back into the EBT.
He's pay the people.
Oh, no way!
He said, we're not going to take it back. Like, so I said, this is the scam from what they did in COVID with unemployment. I worked every day. I work at a junkyard. I'm not essential, but I worked every day. I didn't go out for 600 and 600.
Oh, he just bought votes then. That's all he did.
That's what I'm saying.
He totally bought votes.
Right. That's the thing. Then he announced the third election, right? So let's look at the real thing, like the money, right?
Yeah.
So then he wants $500 million. What is that? That's going to be that's like $600 million for liberal nonsense, like more buses that people don't go on, more basketball teams.
Yeah, which is exactly what. And again, all of that money is just going to be used to hey, let's just throw it around to the constituents come election time. Yep.
I think their scam is going to be they're going to pay for people's health care when everything.
That's
2 months.
Absolutely right.
And you got $500 million in an account now. I mean, they just came up with $72 million. It's just laying there.
Exactly.
House cushion. Was it in a bank account? Or not invested? You could just get money in a day on a Saturday? $72 million?
100% right. You're 100% right.
I do want to say one thing.
Yeah.
I did get to go to dinner with you guys, and I want to tell people that he got dressed up. He had a sport coat on. He looked great. He had good shoes on. Roseanne is amazing. So if you get to meet her, she's 2 times she is on the radio.
Thank you. We really appreciate that. Yeah, Fulton and his wife invited us out to dinner. We had a great dinner over the weekend. So, hey, listen, by the way, I got to give you a holler because I know you just sent me some stuff. We need to go over that.
Yeah.
Okay. All right,
you, buddy.
Thanks, man.
I'll talk to you, man. Talk to you later.
You got it. I've got so many people working on the ground. It's insane. God bless every one of you, from Mark to Fulton to Sammy. I love all of you. Thank you so much for you guys helping me out. Let's go to my last but not least. Mike in Hartford's on the line. How are you, sir?
My. We've got the state police up to their dirty tricks again.
Welcome back, sir.
Now, I have a trooper arrested, charged with a felony for bringing in contraband through a restricted area.
Wow. I missed
Bradley,
this.
Did you read about it?
I didn't. I missed this story. What police department was this with?
State police.
Oh, this is state police.
Bradley Airport. Now, here's the thing. The guy's got over 18 years probably. They're gonna put it to bed. They're gonna ship him out to Colchester and have him sit behind a desk for 2 years, and then he'll retire.
Huh.
That's what they do.
We'll see. We'll pay attention to it. How you been, buddy? I haven't seen you in a while or heard from you in a while.
Well, I retired in July, but I'll tell you what, I feel like Vin Diesel in one of those movies where he's on a dark planet because it's 6 o'clock. I'm ready to go to bed. I'm telling you, they got to stop this nonsense. I'm 7 years old.
So when it gets dark, when it gets dark, Mike, you're ready to go to bed as soon as the sun goes down.
Oh, I'm telling you, man. I get twice as much sleep as you do.
I wish I could, to be honest with you. I wish I could. My wife tells me she can't sleep.
Look into that story about that. That's one of many. They had to do a forensic analysis of the state police and see how much money, how many people actually work.
Wow.
When they're not at work.
I will check into it, man. Good to hear you again, man.
All right, buddy. Thanks.
You got it. Yeah. Yeah, that's insane. So anyway, I got a lot of stories that I'm working on. As you know, we're still working on the Mimi Torres story. That story's getting a little dark. We're finding out some information on that. I spoke to the guy who was actually on that story at WFSB today. He didn't seem to know a lot of the stuff that I knew on that story. He was unaware of it. I think that they've kind of let that story go unless other details come from that, which we told him are coming out really, really soon. So we're paying attention to that. We're following up. That's what Fulton just sent me earlier. So we got some really, really interesting stuff that we need to get into very soon about that. So stand by for that. The week has started. You know, we're getting everything on and popping for the rest of the week. We got Holiday Store coming up very soon next week. Yes, Wendy, in fact, I'm going to make a trip to Newtown this coming weekend. So you and I will get together. In fact, I'll call you later on, and we'll see if we can get that Newtown thing happening this weekend. I don't think I have anything else coming up. So I'll make that happen sooner than later. All right? I think that's roughly about it. Make sure you go to the website. Always go to reeseontheradio.com. That's REESE on the radio.com. There's a new Substack called Shh, I'm Running Again. It's the Ned Lamont story, or as I call him in the Substack article, Oakley Dokley, which is what I'm going to refer to him from now on. So go check that. If you haven't read it yet, please go to reeseontheradio.com. Just scroll down to the Substack article. We're trying to get as many people as we can to check out the article. It is a lot of people checking out. The numbers seem to go up. But if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe if you can. If you don't want to subscribe to the Substack because you're not a reader, that's fine. Still go to the website, click on it so that you can become a friend of ours on Facebook or on X so you can hang out with us. I love finding out. Every time I get a friend request, I love it. If you've got 2 friends, I know that you're doing something shady, so I'm probably not going to friend you. So at least have 100 friends if you could. There's no way that somebody with 2 friends is friending me. So, but if you want to be a friend on Facebook, just go to the reeseontheradio.com page and click on Facebook and just friend us. And I'll immediately, I'm right there. It's on my phone. So I'll accept your or confirm your friendship immediately. Time for me to get up out of here. As I always say, radio is free, so we thank you for paying attention. Remember to keep JC in your hearts and in your mind. Sean Patrick, we love you and we miss you. Remember, panic is not planning. So plan your work and work your plan. Me, I'm Reese on the radio. You have a good night, a pleasant tomorrow, or we will see you back here at 2 p.m. mañana. Mark Christopher's getting you home in the BPS Traffic Center. Good night, sir.